and Adara. I have no idea what the topic is, but you'll find out momentarily. All right,
it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Hey, have this.
Rock, paper, scissors.
No, too sweet. I don't. They're actually a bit too sweet, but I do like them.
You see how long I was gracious about that?
You gave it up. You offered the rock.
And I was
paper.
very. Anybody that knows me, that is not genuine at all. I'm one of those people. The only person I actually share dessert with every single time is my wife and my daughter. Otherwise,
and Ramin.
Otherwise, I'm craving. Oh, and Ramin, because Ramin is awesome. But let's get on to the midday with Adara.
Oh boy, it's just me right now and my girl Trenda. Welcome to the How to Trade show, guys. My name is Adara. Obi is also here, or was here, or will be here. Oh boy, what a market here. Hopefully you guys are having a great morning. We always have a lot of people in the chat already. Live trading by Trader TV Live. So shout out to Fabian and Ramin for everything they do. We got JF Trader. We got Matthew Booth. Guys, we have a whole new co-host. Her name is Ramin. She doesn't have a mic, so she is a silent partner here, but her friend Trenda is here every day. And now we have Obi once again. What an exciting morning already here. D-Loaf, we got in the chat. We got A. Schlidov. We've got Jeremy Newman. Lots of people saying, oh boy, in the chat. We have Joanna Brewster. We've got so many beats. We have Elisa Rader. We've got Fiddleback. We have Ronaldo. We have Covalence. Oscar, Isa Amor. We've got Swirling Brain, Automatic. And we have Hey Davis, Juan Padilla, so many people, Medical Marinara, we got Grov, we have Murray S. Lyman, we have Vikyan Novak, we have Pickle Monster, we've got Hans Beer, we've got Oliver Ketsaros, and we have Future Eddie. How are you doing today, Obi? How's your friend doing?
Not too bad. I had to, there we go. That's what I ran to grab. Yeah. I was like, all right. Yeah, boom, there we go. We'll keep that. How's it going, everybody? Hopefully, you guys had a solid morning there. Shout out to Neil and Sean for some banger trades that happened again on these markets. I know that they were in Intel, NVDA, solid move there. Market been pretty nice. Been not too bad in terms of volatility. Both ways, to the upside, to the downside. Aggressive selling when it does come in, aggressive bidding when it does come in. But yeah, it's been pretty wild. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. There's nothing I have is coming into levels right now. Lululemon, I sit down, I like that 256, but I was like, Adara, wait till your levels to come in. For the record, I love 258, I love 263, I love 266, and I love 253. I like what we're doing coming into 253 here. If we break below 253, to me, I think, oh boy, this thing goes to the downside. I'd be willing to actually risk into 255 because 255 is a level that's kind of been a little exciting here. I would be definitely taking some out here at 249. So that's minimum 2-to-1 risk to reward. I had that Crowdstrike trade yesterday, went really well. I reflected on why that went well, and it's because the RR was good, the trade made sense, the levels made sense, and I committed to it, and I waited for my level to come in. I liked it on the book and the chart. This 253 on Lulu, I like on the book and the charts. Let's see if Lulu comes in. Crowdstrike also as a day 2 move, definitely coming back into my levels, but not in a way that I can play with yet. That being said, crowd, I got you on watch. Look how well it's kind of aligned with some of the lines I drew yesterday. Aligned. Yeah, this 279.50. If you reject, honestly, crowd, for me, I'm torn between Lulu and crowd right now. I don't love this bottoming tail on crowd. That's the only thing. But we'll have to wait. We'll have to see if we can be scheming, plotting, scheming, getting money over here on this lovely show. How are you? What are you looking at right now, Obi?
Not too bad. I'm kind of looking at this NVIDIA. I know Sean mentioned right before I came on, I was in that NVIDIA trade. So yeah, we can talk about the NVIDIA trade that I had. A little bit of a reversion that happened. I was there. I did not trade this ticker yesterday on earnings day 1, which was again a little unfortunate. But I was I don't know. I was like really tired coming in in the morning. Even though I woke up quite early, I was literally like no word of a lie. I was literally dozing off at the open, and I was like, I saw the 120. I was like, oh, maybe I should get long this 120, and then boom, it goes 121.5. So I'm like, well, damn, I'm not gonna risk a point and a half because I like 120, 121.5. Sure, I could definitely size down or whatever, but I still like the interaction with that 120. But didn't really have a trade on it. Tried the reversion on Softy, worked not too well, but we will improve on that one. But today, coming in, one try on just above that 120.5 as we pull back in, get stopped out. pretty tight there. And then off of prior structures here, 121.70s, I'm getting in on the back through kind of a bid dissipating there, getting more aggressive. Another lot through 121s and then double up through 120.20s. I think this one here, this one was a double up. I think I do have to do better in getting too aggressive right here. Maybe wait, because it is VWAP. Maybe wait for the chop that will most likely happen at VWAP and opening range highs, and then get some more there. You can see the continuation did come in. Again, I didn't know that that was going to happen, but as I sat down on the desk here, and it was coming down into 119s, I told Adara, oh boy, this 119 looks really weak. It's about to crack. I'm pretty sure it's about to crack, and crack it did right here, when I was sitting on the desk right here. So 119 does crack, and we're pushing below, or we're testing what is right now day lows right now. So 118's day lows, it is what it is. What is the next trade? That's what I'm looking for, Adara. But this reversion coming in beautifully on the market, confluenced with that 19.6 rejection on the DAC there on the NASDAQ, and the 56 halves, or 56 50s, 56 45s-ish on the ES. Don't really look at the ES as closely relative to how much I look at the NASDAQ. So that was my trade here. A lot left on the table. But you know what? Where's the next trade? I'm still hungry. My plate is not finished. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to be looking. I'm going to be patiently waiting. But that's what I'm looking at, Adara, right now on the markets. NVIDIA, sure, we have. I think if I just go through my in play list. Qualcomm I had written down as range bound, so let's take a look if Qualcomm is doing any of that. Dollar General as well I have on watch. Yesterday we saw a crazy sell-off. Big miss on my part, not getting short Dollar General as it broke was it multi-month or multi-year as well? I think it was multi-year as well.
There was a lot of lows.
Lows, yeah, exactly. And then the pop fails underneath 100, and look at that. Sells off into the close. What a beautiful trade. What a beautiful trend on that Dollar General move there. A lot of longs potentially or definitely offside as selling gets aggressive on an SSR name that already sold off 23%. Now, shout out to Dara. I did not have this on my watch list yesterday morning, and Dara was like, you know, Dollar General was down 23%. I was like, oh, damn. Even though I didn't take a fill on it, beautiful trade it was nonetheless. But yeah, let's take a look at some of these tickers that I do have on watch today. Qualcomm, a little bit of a range-bound action we've been seeing over the past few days here. Again, going up to a higher time frame. Look at this. You can come to this literally every day since was it? I guess August 19th. It kind of starts defining that range, but literally high of the range 175s, give or take a point. Low of the range 170s, give or take a point. Every day, depending on where you're at, you have a decision to make as Qualcomm literally just ranges on the multi-day right there. So I had that written down, and as you can see today, sure, you don't get that 175, but the turn comes in off of 174. So volatility within the range happening on Qualcomm there. So glad to know that's doing more of the same. And I also had Unilever, UL, on watch as well as, again, last night's scans. I'm like, okay, well, this thing's been catching a bid every single day. Take a look at the daily chart here. Now, obviously, the day I'm like, oh, this thing's been catching a bid every day. I got to look for the bid today. It is selling off on the day today, down about 1%. But you can see that post-earnings gap up continuation has been doing well on Unilever. And are these all-time highs? I think these are all-time highs. So we've been aggressively pushing up all-time highs, and you can see the weekly chart, absolutely beautiful. Still well within trend here, all the way from 45s, trading at 64.40s now is Unilever. Now let's take a quick pulse check on Dell. Have you been watching Dell? I think someone's alarm is going off. Dell. Kind of on watch earnings, but within that earnings range, hasn't really done too much. Pre-market low break, I guess, was there off of the open. Ulta as well. And I know there's an earnings name that you definitely would like to talk about for sure. Ulta, I did not look at this one. Oh boy, look at that one. Kind of a reversion. Pre-market high break, 345, blast through 350, pull back on 350, holds, and now we're chopping sideways underneath 360s. But there is a name that I feel like you were trying to get involved with. What do you got going on there?
Okay, Lulu, I had the right call on this. I was not able to get filled, but I'm still waiting here for a dip buy. I initially was thinking Lulu short. That was the plan. I was like, oh, we're rejecting 250s. I don't know, I did that voice. We're rejecting 256. I was like, dope, but you didn't have a level on 256, Adara, so wait. My level was 253. So what we do here is we get to like 253.80 on the ask, 253.30 on the bid. Then we creep up to 253.31 on the bid. And this is something I've said in the past. I find to be extremely bullish on a spready stock when we start to creep up, especially for the key level. Look at that 253. I watched this on the book when we were like holding this earlier. I like that 253. So I said, if we can hold that 253, switch up the short, like if you're not gonna break it, try to go long. Now, where did I wanna go long? 254.60s. Why? Because look at this chop and turn here. At the time, that candle, which obviously now is a pretty nice bullish engulfing, was kind of chilling there. So I said, you know what, Adara, that's the area where you want to get involved. I had the beak wetter, not the beak wetter, the point of entry. It never got filled. Then I'm waiting here to get entered. I don't think I'm going to be able to get involved. That being said, another level of entry that I'd be chill with for Lulu, which again, based on levels I like here, this 256. Look at this 256. If we can clear 256, I think we've got at least until 258, a little bit of clear skies. I would be likely adding as we break above 258, then I would be getting out at 263. That would be the plan. We'll see how this goes here on the Lululemon one. Also, guys, we're not going to do the rundown today because Sharif is not here, so no voting. But that would be my look. Trader Forever saying, wouldn't be surprised if Lulu trades in a sideways range the rest of the day down here. I would honestly be okay with that. I enjoy the kind of range-bound trading. Ulta, though, I liked what Obi had to say about Ulta. I have levels on Ulta. Shocking, I know. No, I'm joking. I love spready stocks. There's been so many of those reporting earnings. And Ulta, I like 346, 350, 356, 360. Those are levels I like based on what I saw on the book. And it's interesting, a lot of these levels will kind of show up here on the chart. You do have that 356 holding kind of gorgeously as a bit of a bull flag area. I'd like to see what we do here in Ulta. No trades yet. The big thing I'm looking for, like I said, Lulu, this bid is tightening. I think it's going to break out. I don't think I'm going to get the dip buy I want, but if I can get 256 long, if that holds, I'll risk in to 255, 254.60. So basically using my area that was going to be my entry as my new area of risk. Let's see what happens here. SMCI, wow, says Armando Zapata. Yeah, Smicky, how you doing there, Smicky? SMCI and I were not besties yesterday. I had the right idea on some of these levels, but I didn't take it with aggression. I put this trade on my Twitter, and I said basically I was trading with fear. I was either trading with fear of missing out, or I was too scared to get involved, and then I got involved in bizarre dip buy areas. So, or dip sell or whatever areas. Oh, okay, SMCI, I shouldn't look at you. That 426, look at how well that holds a support. Now, we're trying to hold that 422s. We're pushing higher. I would like to see that happen. But one thing that Raider Trader said when he was on the market recap that I found to be pretty key that I've been really trying to understand and listen to more is like, if there's stocks in play, stick with those. Smicky could be in play, but it's not like a catalyst-driven name like Lulu. It's not an Ulta. It's not a day two like CrowdStrike. And now Lulu back above 256. If we can hold 256 on the bid here, Obi, I think I will be stepping into those. Oh, okay, we did that thing I like where we wake up on the pennies. I'm definitely not getting filled here. Let's try 256.05s if that will work for me here. And then you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna risk here into like I said, this 254.60. So we're risking about $1.40. I'm trying to add here. If we get above 258, then I will be trying to get out around 262, just shy of 263. So the risk to reward to me tracks. Let's see though if Lulu can work for me here. I like this resistance support flip. How you doing?
Nice. I like that look here. Kind of watching this NVIDIA kind of come in, looking weaker, lower lows, lower highs as well. Trading underneath VWAP confluence with that 120. You can see that VWAP rejected that 120. 120 was key off of the open. 120 was key yesterday. 120 was key for the reversion as well. And then a little bit of a lot of volume happening at that 120. We're trading distinctly lower. And just a couple minutes ago, I look over to Sean and Neil, and I'm like, guys, you know what the month open on NVIDIA is? The month open on NVIDIA, and now you got to remember, today's the last day of the month. 117.5. We're a point away from there. 117.5 is the month open. So we're about less than a point now from the month going green to red. So let's see what happens with that month going to green to red. I was like 19.5 potential over under. Let's see if that comes in. Oh boy, is the market coming in real hot? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Bears versus Bulls. Yes, Bears versus Bulls earlier was like, whales control prices. I was like, yes, whales control prices, but I control my own decisions. So there is something there are things you can control, there are things you cannot control. And that, not just for trading, for life as well. But this NVIDIA coming in to that 118. Let's see, I'm curious to know what that 117.5 has in store for us, as any and every long from the beginning of the month will be kind of out of the money. Yeah, out of the money. Below that opening price there, we're trading about 75 pennies away from that level right now. This 19.5 is something I'm watching, as well as a factor of confluence. And you can see pre-market consolidation in the morning session, the Globex session right here, 19.5 holding consolidation lows, very tight consolidation between 19.540 and 19.5 here on the NASDAQ. You attempt to push 19.6s into the open, hard flush, and then now we're trading below this 19.5, maybe potentially that support holding as resistance. What do I know, though? But Apple, oh boy, is that coming in real hot. Taking a bite out of this one right here. Let's take a quick look at Apple. Okay, hello. We got to blow this one up a little bit. Take a look at where we are trading. I remember I pointed this out much earlier. We talked about range trends, or trend ranges right here. So earlier on this year, Apple actually broke out. So that test, that push of 200 was a break of this trend range that happened, and we accelerated off of that. We came in, we used that trend resistance as support multiple times, and then off earnings, we gapped below that trend resistance. We kind of washed it a little bit, and now we're kind of riding right back up on it. So a little bit of a maybe potentially a larger time frame orbit, maybe. I don't know, but we're coming in, we're pulling in to some of those levels here. Let's see. So I'm thinking maybe potentially we find some support where we've found support in the past here in the mid 220s, potentially coming into this trend resistance, trend support here on Apple. Maybe that is where I can look for the market to potentially change some behavior here. Oh boy, 118's cracking right now, only about 15 pennies away from that month open. So I'm going to be watching this one real close. Here, 117.90s trading right now. Let's see if we break this day low here on the NASDAQ, 19.440s there. How's that trade looking on that Lulu? Market's coming in, but Lulu is holding up quite well there, Dara. So I think you got something going on there.
Thank you. And I will say, initially, I was a little bit concerned because as we had that push below the 473 on the Qs, Lulu was doing that. And I've said before, this is, to me, a huge thing that I look for in the book. If we see these in a spready stock, if you're seeing it move by a couple cents, right? So on Lulu, we had, I think 256.20 holding on the bid. And then on the ask, we had 256.70, 256.69. I was like, oh my gosh, Sadara, that is bearish. You know that is bearish. Be careful here. The lowest we dropped, though, is 255.89. So I'm like, okay, Adara, you're chill. I drew this line not because I'm doing anything here. I'm not adding to the position or getting out here, but look at all of these wicks up. I think if we clear that level, I don't want to say it's blue skies ahead because it's not. You know, I have greater ambitions for this trade, but I think if we clear that level, I will definitely have increased confidence. Like I said, the 256 level is certainly, it wasn't one of the levels I was looking at earlier, but I was looking at 253 earlier. So once we had that 253 bounce, and once you have this look here on the chart, I was like, okay, 256 could be interesting. I want to shout Obi. You mentioned confluence a lot. You and I were talking yesterday. Shout out because he was helping me, doing some trade review yesterday with regards to the Crowdstrike trades. And I think one of the reasons the Crowdstrike trade worked, because we were talking about why did I think that trade worked? I had so much confluence. When I was looking at the Crowdstrike book at the big desk, I was not looking at the chart. All I was focusing on was, are there levels in the book that I like? Then when I see the chart and I see those levels hit, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That works. Lulu holding 256.89 on the ask, trying to hold on to the bid here around 256.40s, but oddly a bit of a level of resistance for Lulu here. Let's see what we can do here. Also, another spready ticker that I have eyes on earnings coming into levels, and that is going to be Ulta. I like Ulta 356. 356 I liked in the book, but it looks like 357 is maybe more of an interesting area when you look at the chart here. We broke below that 90 MA, but we do have a bit of a bottoming tail candle. We also have a bull flag with higher highs and higher lows. So Adara, wait, I'm talking to myself, I guess, out loud. Let's see what we do at 355. Because that is certainly, I think, a bit of an area of support here. If we break the 355, that's where things get spicier. That's when you tried try to figure things out here and decide what you want to do. Okay, Lulu, clearing 257. Like I said, we get to 258. I specifically flagged 258.20s just above VWAP that I will be adding to the trade. I'm trying to get more aggressive with my trades. I'm trying to take more size. This Lulu trade took with a little bit more size, but we're gonna be adding some big boy shares to use a Sharifism. If we get to 258.20s, I'm really happy with this trade. I'm happy I had the confidence in this trade. Shout out to whoever's alarm that is. Also, speaking of alarms, I appreciate you mentioning tired trading, like the whole looking at feeling kind of a little bit more tired at the open. I talk a lot about how I think being a little bit more fatigued can impact your trading, and as someone who is my baseline level of energy is deeply tired, I always respect when people are talking about that, because I think it's a very real thing. Someone in the chat was saying, oh, when I'm tired, I do push-ups while trading. I should maybe try that next time. A little bit harder when you're at your desk. Amazon, says Mo Banks. Okay, I'm going to get my order ready here for Lulu to add, and then we're going to talk about some Amazon here, because, yeah, wow, sick. Lulu. Okay, this is dope. Yeah, AMZN here. Whew. We get our first pushback of the day.
What is Amazon doing?
Look at that top at 175.26 that we're trying to break out of. There's also, I had one level written down for Amazon, 174.50. Yes, some chop and turn around there. Ends up being this area earlier. Now it's actually VWAP. Nice push up. Do you have any thoughts on Amazon, which I know is a stock you used to be pretty intimately acquainted with?
Yeah, no, I'm looking at your Lulu trade there, solid trade, and it looks like again, if the market bounces here, potentially, maybe Lulu's doing its own thing. Again, earnings day one, it's doing six times R vol. 6 times R vol, and we kind of reverting the reversion. There's a few reversions that have been happening here. Prior highs right here, 259.50s. That's interesting. If we kind of clip those, that should be interesting as well. But yeah. Good luck with that Lulu trade there, Dara. Solid entry there, right above. Is that on top of VWAP, or that's into VWAP right now?
That's into VWAP. I added at VWAP. Yeah.
All right, let's go. NVIDIA, you are at that 117.5. Hello. I will take a look at Amazon in a second here. Amazon is attempting to break day highs as of right now. Right here, this is what Amazon is doing. 175.65 day highs here, but NVIDIA looking a little bit more pretty for me here at that 117.5. This is a month open, guys, so let's see if we can catch anything distinctly different happening on the tape here at that month open. We always talk about watching the tape at key significant areas. Here we're getting some speed and aggression coming in. Shout out to Wayne, who kind of coined that term here on the floor. Speed and aggression coming in to the tape here on top of that 117.5. So let's see how this kind of chops around as of right now on NVIDIA. But take a look at this, guys. This trend has been quite aggressive to the downside. Oh boy, I need better exit rules. I had shorts from 121.60s, added 121s, got more 120.20s. That might have been a little too aggressive and had me cover a little too early. I gotta do better with that one. But we come into 117.5s. Oh boy, I feel it coming. For sure. 175 halves coming in right here on Amazon. Hey, day highs 15, 20 pennies away as the market falls off of this 19 half. So distinctly different and a little bit disconnected here on Amazon. Let's take a higher time frame look at this Amazon here. You know what? 15 minutes too low. Let's go to 30-minute right here. Oh boy, all right, I see that. Let's get rid of some of these indicators here, as I like my charts. Well, I like my charts naked, let's say that. Clean charts. Yeah, it's like, whoa. Yeah, I mean, naked charts, naked tape, no filters. That's how I prefer it the most. But yeah, every now and then I do throw on a VWAP, some moving averages, some indicators as well, which reminds me we do have to eventually go into the lesson of the day. Now today's lesson of the day, Sharif asked me this morning. He's like, we're going to be talking about oscillators. Can you speak on oscillators? Now, oscillators is not something I necessarily use, even though I've read up on them in the past. Understand how they may work, but not really well versed in using them in my trading. Here's about a 50 penny pop on NVIDIA off of that 117 halves right there. A clean little bounce off of month open, giving you about 40 pennies for a scalp here. Let's see if there's any sort of continuation. I like the reversions. Let's see if this downtrend breaks and we get a bit of a reversion. I'm waiting for the DAC to bounce here. We could continue to the downside here, selling off into the end of the month. And printing a bit of a doji on the monthly candle here on NVIDIA, 117 halves, again, month open. But Amazon, let's see, 30-minute, again, post-earnings bottom right there, 151. Is that August 5th? Oh boy, that is August 5th. That does look like some August 5th action there. Right there, post-earnings. And we've been trading higher since then, higher highs, higher lows, a little bit sideways over the past, I guess, half of this month here, going into the end there, but we're pretty much sideways in between I guess we were 176, 180s, but 170, 180s now as we kind of pull back in to some of these prior levels here. Kyle Burdett with the super chat saying, Obi likes his charts like I like my wife. Bang. Nice. Yeah. I just got that. Nice. All right. So, yeah, we were talking about naked charts.
Yeah,
right?
Well, I saw that immediately, and I was like, that has to be what that's referring to. There's also another super chat.
I mean, I was gonna say I love my charts. I thought that's kind of the what I was getting at right there. 118s. Oh boy, we talk about action off of month open. 50 penny scalp. That's heavy right there on NVIDIA coming in 118s. But yeah, well, how's your Lulu doing?
Lulu is. Okay, we're not trading with emotions, so Lulu's, I'm chill, I'm vibing. So instead of, I was initially gonna use my get out at break even, but I don't wanna do that. And the reason I wanna do that is because I talked about this level here. Look at all the times we went into this, then we had that clean breakout. So I'm actually gonna risk a little bit below break even here. My average now, 257.02s, because I did add like fairly aggressively at VWAP. Maybe that was a mistake. But not like I added the same amount I initially had, so I doubled up the position. So this area I like here, if we get that 256.88, I think is roughly what it is, that's where we get out. Also, there's another super chat addressed to you by Kyle Burdett, $4.99 super chat. Obi, I must ask you a question. Is this market going down? Get low. Yeah, well, it's interesting because I was looking at the cues in relation to my friend Lulu over here. And I was like, cues, what are you doing? Because I've talked about this before, especially in a spready ticker, no matter how well the setup is, or no matter how much you like the setup, no matter how good it's looking, if the futures kind of have a move in the opposite direction, that could absolutely impact you because these things they can go down for real. Shout out to Flo Rida. But look at all the support we're trying to form here at 270, 230s. I don't mind this. We're going to have to wait and see here. I don't have any other ads right now. These lines I drew are just going to be levels that if we're unable to make, I've already set my B quitter here. If we're, shout out to the B quitting animation, if we're able to make 260, 250s, like obviously I'll be taking out a third. I don't mean obviously, but I'll take out a third there. That being said, if we can't make this level, if we do kind of fall back to other areas, I'll be watching out here 259, 10s, just above 260s. But I don't want to be taking anything out until I've seen what we can kind of do here around that 260. I'll have to move up my stop as I go as well. Right now, though, I'm comfortable stopping out just below break even. I believe in this trade. That's why I added to it. And I don't mean believe it because I know, like, sometimes I'll say phrases, people are like, oh, don't trade with emotion. I don't mean that in an emotional way. I mean that in just, I trust this trade. I like how this looks. I don't love the way that we're kind of rejecting that area just above 258. But you know what I do love? To shout out our lovely friends here at Benzinga, which I will do in just a moment here. We will pull that up. Because we are brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Shout out to Ryan Faluna, who fellow Lily trader there, who has also been in the market recap and on this show.
3 pennies.
Tired of being late to the trade,
Quick.
Always playing catch up in the market, missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news. Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial. Really quickly before I hand it back to Obi here, Vikyan Novak mentioning Tesla. Tesla, I have like weirdly $3 worth of like different levels. And when I say $3, I mean like between 209.50 and 212.50. That is a range. There's a lot of levels I like. I apologize for gasping. 209.50 was a huge level. If you go back to the 5-minute from yesterday, 209.50 was a big level. Look at this resistance support flippity flop. 209.50 for Tesla. If we can hold that, that'll be a good look. Brad does real estate. Thank you for the $5 super chat. 121.60 short NVIDIA. Can you say 3-day weekend is paid for? Hope y'all are well, fam. Down. Yeah, hope you are well, fam, as well. Thank you very much for the super chat. NVDA, yeah, 121 certainly did something for me. I talked about that flat bottom break at 121 during the midday yesterday that I didn't take because apparently, hello, Mike. Apparently I referred to do nonsense with SMCI, but 121, a great level, 121.60. Oh my God, you got short right near that VWAP protection. That's a great look here for you. Shout out to you there. Brad does real estate. Hopefully Adara does Lululemon trade here. We'll see how that goes.
That's it.
Wait, what?
No,
I heard a whisper in my ear. Sorry, how are you doing?
I literally look over at Amazon. I'm like, oh, we just grabbed the highs, and I'm like, okay, market's gonna come in. Let me get short. It drops down like 30 pennies. Okay, that's fine. 175. We're trading at 175s right now. I was looking at reversion here. Right here, reversion of this little trend here. I even mentioned, I looked over to Sean and Neil. I'm like, yo, Amazon just lick grabbed the high of day by 3 pennies. That's definitely some decision-making price action potentially there. And look at that. We lick grabbed by 3 pennies, and then we flush down 70 pennies into 175s. Beautiful action. As the market, you get that tailwind coming in with that accelerated selling. Here goes NVIDIA through the open of the month, 117.24s. We have just gone green to red on the month. NVIDIA, hello, let's go, let's party. 117.25 is happening right now, so it's just a quarter. We've just broken. We could still kind of bid back up. We are still within the downtrend here. We got to stay patient. See, it's bidding back up, 117.5s, but we just violated that open there, so now I have closer eyes on this NVIDIA push there. Now, again, something we have to remember. Yesterday's crush, that sell-off that happened, near the end of the day, we did break that month low as well, right? Earnings reaction low, we did break that month low as well. 116.70s we went to yesterday. So these prices we've already visited prior day, but being that month open, I think it still holds significance, even though we traded past that point yesterday. We kind of wicked back up, we gapped up above it. Now we're trading, we're attempting to kind of hold this level right now here on NVIDIA. And I'm looking across the board here at some of the other Mag 7 stocks. Apple to the downside, it's only been trending to the downside all day off of the open. There's been no real relief. There was a bit of relief here. I'm looking at 15-minute chart. 10:15 and 10:30 candle were the only candles that printed green on Apple today. Every other candle has been red. Now you can see a little bit of confluence in the market there as the only green candle on both the ES and the NASDAQ. Well, I guess the NASDAQ has another one right here, but it is around that time, that 10 o'clock 15-minute candle here. So let's see if we base around this 117.5s on the NVIDIA. Amazon, that might have just been a scalp. We're bidding right back up to 175.5s as of right now. But, you know, without any further ado, let's do a quick kind of look at today's lesson. I did kind of piece together some quick points on oscillators. Nothing too crazy. And again, shout out to Sharif and Adara. I know they do a much more in-depth, much more I guess prepared lesson every day. So thank you guys for that. I'm just going to be covering indicators and oscillators, how you may want to perceive indicators, right? In general, oscillators, yes, we have oscillators. There's also discussion about like some of these indicators being lagging and leading indicators. You know, I think that's like a common I guess understanding that people have around these indicators, but I don't really like to look at them like that as per se. I'm just more like, okay, so what is this indicator measuring, right? Most indicators, I would say, are lagging if anything, right? So here we go, 118s on NVIDIA, but most indicators are lagging if anything because a lot of information that's being presented by these indicators is off of information that has already been generated on the charts, right? The tape is like current right now. Any sort of moving averages, right? Any sort of oscillators, like you have RSI, you have I guess stochastics. We were talking about Sharif and Adara were talking about stochastics. There's also the ADX, right? For those who like to use oscillators, I think ADX is also an oscillator that certain participants like to use. There's also I guess I think support and resistance. Now these are all based off of information that has already been printed on the charts, right? So keeping that in mind, I think that has to be kept in mind. That's what I kind of want to emphasize on, right? There's nothing that's really, I guess, actually leading in terms of indications, right? A lot of these things are based off of prior information. Now, people will argue that the book is potentially a leading indicator because it shows you what the future might hold with the orders that are posted there. But you still, at the end of the day, you never know. That's still kind of like, all right, well, sure, there's some size sitting there. If certain things happen with that size, you may have a certain nuanced understanding of probabilities, how probabilities can kind of unfold there. Now, again, talking about oscillators, I just pulled up an RSI here for Amazon. Now, like oscillators, I like to use them if I am going to be using them. Me personally, more for higher time frames. I would say 30 minutes to an hourly, or even more than that. Weeklies, monthlies. I like them on that as well. But you can see even on the intraday action there, there's a lot of false positives. Right now, I'm sure that Sharif and Nadira covered false positives on oscillating indicators. Right here, you see that push oversold, kind of again confluencing with the highs there as it pulls back in. So it kind of comes in, kind of following the action there. So the question becomes, what is it really kind of showing you there? You can see that, okay, sure, it pivots off of oversold right off of the open there, and it pushes into overbought. So that can maybe potentially guide you with decision making there. But at the same time, you do have to consider false positives, right? There are going to be multiple times where you're going to have divergence. Now, some people will infer divergence slightly differently. You can be like, all right, well, on a higher time frame, you can go like a 15-minute or 30-minute. If you have price coming down, but the RSI pushing up, you can be like, all right, there's some divergence there. Maybe there's something happening on a higher time frame. Take a look at that, a little bit of a wiki action there on the NASDAQ. So let's see if this 117.5 holds monthly open on NVIDIA, as, again, the NASDAQ holds that 19.4 area, 19.420. Hey, yo, shout out on the NASDAQ. Let's see if we pull up into that 19.5. So again, going back to this, so I just want to emphasize that it is key to remember, and I've said this multiple times on the show as well, regardless of what type of indicators you're using, even like if they're oscillators, there's moving averages like VWAP and like MACDs, and again regular simple and exponential moving average. I think you got to have an eye on what the equation is, what the math behind the indicator is. Like, I do not have indicators on my charts where I do not understand the math behind the indicator. Smart. What is it measuring, right? What is it really measuring? Can you break down the equation? Do you understand the equation thoroughly, inside out? Now, again, I want to shout out, it's funny how when I first came on the show, I shouted out this book. It was like $75 on Amazon. Now it's over $150. And I think there might be some supply-demand mechanics happening there on the price of this book. But again, I'm not really sponsored by them, but beautiful, beautiful book. Some people call it the Bible of trading, the Bible of technical analysis, technical analysis of the financial markets by John J. Murphy. I know Sharif shouts him out as well quite often, but that book is golden for kind of understanding the math behind some of these indicators. A lot of indicators and technical analysis tools kind of defined and mentioned and also talked about how the originator, the people who kind of came up with some of these indicators, how they were intended to be used, how people kind of perceive them, what the textbook definition of some of these indicators are and how people perceive them, and then you can obviously strategize around that. So it's like I think that I definitely want to emphasize that kind of how people look at them, what the math behind it is, and kind of how you might want to strategize your trading behind some of those indicators, and how you might want to use multiple indicators to your advantage as well, right? How different kind of, like I like to use moving averages and VWAP as well, sometimes combining them together, sometimes combining support and resistance. Now, like I said, I don't necessarily use stochastics or Fibonacci's or moving average. I'm my stance is more like, what are those? Spaghetti on the chart. But then again, you can argue that moving averages and VWAP is exactly the same, right? So it's like, you can have, traders can have multiple indicators. At the end of the day, it's your strategy, your playbook, your nuances that make the difference for your trading. And that's kind of what I wanted to cover, a quick topic, not necessarily strictly focused on oscillators, but again, we're talking about indicators, and that's kind of what I wanted to emphasize on. Beautiful trade there on Lulu. I see that you added as well, and you got out right in front of the 260s. Nice trade, Adara.
Thank you. I did take out a third for $3 in the money because I got the first part in 256, got out the first third at 259. So with this trade, I know I initially said I'd be waiting here to get out my first third at 260, 250s. I was like, Adara, that is a skosh ambitious. That is a lot ambitious. For an NQ, that's a skosh weak. And for a Lulu, that was honestly having a really hard time re-breaking 258 for quite a while. This also was a larger position size for me. So I said, Adara, I think it's more realistic for you to just like breathe and get out a little bit here so you can breathe a little bit easier. Now, what are other areas of profit taking, you may ask? I'm waiting here for 260, 250s. That is definitely my next level. I love 266 as well. Is that a bit ambitious? Yeah, it is. I'm going to be honest about that. In terms of, where shall you be risking to now? I still like this area around just below 258s, like that 257, 70s. That is the prior bar low. It's also that gorgeous support we had at VWAP. If the bow breaks, the Lulu may fall. So I want to be aware of that. And I'm willing, you know what I mean? I used to be the type of person where if I saw like, we can't hold 259s immediately, I must run out of the trade. That's not the vibe though. Like I said, honestly, my two best trades this week were my Crowdstrike trade yesterday and my Netflix trade on Tuesday. And I don't mean P&L. I'll backtrack this. Basically, why those trades worked is because I wasn't trading the P&L. I was trading them off levels. I had areas that made sense. I got out based on got in and out based on what I was seeing on the book and on the chart. And Netflix one was in the sim, Crowdstrike was in the live. But what's interesting too, those trades were my strongest in terms of, the processes. Then the P&L reflected that. And that's something I know you and Wayne have said to me. And it's like, don't focus on P&L because once you have and you say this a lot too, once you have the processes down, once you have the trades down, the P&L will reflect that. That's what I've been trying to do. We hid the blotter. All we see are the orders, so I know what I'm trying to get out, when and where with Miss Lulu. So let's see how this goes here. Very happy with this trade thus far. Like that we're above 259s. I'm going to be using prior bar lows, shout out to Obi, as my stops going forward here. So as of right now, like I said, that's going to be that area just below 258. I don't have any plans to add as of right now. Happy with what we have here. Happy with how this is looking. Let's see if we can push any farther. Patience is a virtue, says Rob Love Green. It's a virtue that I really struggle with. So that's why I'm trying to work a little bit every single day. Ash Sharif says, pack your patience. My Samsonite bag is full of patience right now. And maybe also like toiletries and stuff, you know what I mean? Other things you pack. Dell being mentioned here by Ebod, Dell to 120. Also, guys, apologies. I know I speak really fast. I find actually, too, when I try to speak slower when I'm at the big desk, my throat actually gets kind of a little bit from it. Because, I was saying this to Fabian. I was like, I don't really understand why this is. He's like, it's probably because you're not used to it, which I think is maybe a fair point. So I do apologize. I'm a little bit faster because I am so excited by these here markets. So look at this 115 at 30 area on Dell. To me, that is the area. I mean, I think it's understandably really cool to get, caught up in these whole, however many point levels, $10 levels. But look how we reject even getting in to that 115.30. That is a huge level of support to me. To me, that's the level. Let's see what we do here with resistance. Also the SPY. Shout out to Vikyan Novak, who I believe mentioned being in the SPY in the chat. The SPY is the one that I trade semi-frequently. 558 was a multi-day level here for me in the SPY. Our low of day, 558.10. We get a pushback. If we break 558s, I'm going short. That is for sure. I like these lower highs, lower lows. This is a little bit of the umbrella handle pattern that I talk about sometimes. You have a big sharp move down, a little bit of a move up. Get prepared for more rain to the downside. When it rains, it pours. And in this case, it pours profits if you're short. Lulu approaching 260. Actually, oh my gosh, okay, we got 260 here in Lulu. Let's push higher. Staying calm. We're not trading P&L. We're trading progress. We're trading learning. And honestly, it's interesting too because I know my style of trading is a little bit of a different one. I trade tickers that are maybe understandably not known as day trading tickers. They're really spready. They're a little bit more bamboozling. But if it works for you, it works for you. And I know I mentioned last week I was a bit tilted. I had a Lily trade that would have worked, but I didn't get in because I was like, oh, it's not a day trade stock. But the thing Sharif said to me is, no one knows how to trade Lily like you. Like only you know how to trade it the way you trade it. There's a quote I say a lot from Chance the Rapper. This will help you second guess your first mind. Trust your first mind within reason. If you see that confluence, believe in that. Lulu, are we good? Oh my gosh, Kay, I want to see what we do here. I thought this was a crazy level.
It's like 3, 4, almost 4 points in the money.
Yeah, let's see what happens here in Lululemon. I am really proud of this trade, and I'm proud of it because I trusted myself. I had belief in levels. I liked, and there was someone in the chat yesterday, forget the name, so I do apologize, saying like, try not to have like, inherent biases in terms of direction. Just go based on what the charts and the book are telling you. I agree with that because I initially liked the 253 short, but once we bounced off 253, I said, Dara, look for the long. Didn't get my first entry I liked, but darn sure got the second. Shout out to Confluence, to trading. Prior bar low here, going to be 258.60s. That's where, maybe that's a bit, we'll have to see what we do here in terms of my stop. That's the biggest thing I still need to work on is regards to adjusting the stops when you're in these tickers that are really spready, that can move dollars at a time. So we're going to have to wait and see what we do. I'd love to see us hold, let's see 259s. We'll see what happens here. But if Lulu can get above that 260, 250s, I would be pleased with Joby. Yeah. And I would still hold a piece for the dream for 266.
Yeah, let's go. I really like that trade. Solid trade there, Adara, on Lulu. Something I want to point out there. You said, yeah, you have to kind of believe. You got to believe in your trade. You got to believe in your ideas, and that plays a big part. Like if you're not going to have confidence in your trades, and sure, that confidence might not come right away, but over time you build that confidence and you trust in the trade. You trust in the move. Now, of course, there's obviously nuances to that. Risk management, kind of timing as well. Again, you can have the right idea, but the wrong timing, that still makes you wrong. Again, getting back in and having the mental fortitude to take more shots if you see your idea kind of working there as well. But yeah, no, I definitely second that there. Got to believe in yourself there. And that 118 holding on NVIDIA there as a market. Chops makes it a little bit lower there. I'm looking for a potential reversion here on Amazon as well. And I don't think the position board still says Sharif here, but I can assure you I'm a little bit short here on the Amazon, just below that day high there. Let's see if we can get that pullback in. If Amazon is going to range, I want to swing through this jungle here on Amazon there. So a VWAP coming in 174.70s. Is a VWAP here on the P Pro, and 174.71 on the view there. So let's see if that one comes in there. Read in the chat. Hi, do you trade NQ every day? I do not trade NQ. Sean is in it right now. Sean is trading the DAC, but I do look at the NQ as an indicator for my trading to give me some direction there. Now, eventually, I do want to have. I do have the risk now to kind of take shots at the NQ when I'm playing market moves, but I haven't necessarily been doing that. This market has been providing some solid volatility in equities, in my opinion. So in equities, in my opinion, I'm like the ghost chair there, where I think Neil is off the desk for now, but. Ghost traders. So 175 holding as of right now. 175 another potentially key area as well that I'm watching, but we kind of do a little bit of a dance around that on top of VWAP. Let's see if the market pulling in can bring in some of that Amazon as well, as we also lick grab kind of the day highs there by about 3 pennies. That's a little bit distinct, in my opinion. We can just go back as well. But with the market kind of looking like this and Amazon looking distinctly different, I am looking for a potential trade there. Let's see, what is the next trade? The Piper saying, I'm wrong more often than right. So yeah, I guess that's the trader's life, right? You're probably going to be wrong more often than you're right, but it's the risk management that will set you apart most of the time. Again, we talk about this. A lot of traders, some really good traders, win rates below 50%, win rate 30%, right? So it's like, all right, so what puts them over the top? It's going to be your sizing, it's going to be your risk management, it's going to be your stock selection, right? It's going to be your opportunity selection as well. So a lot of those things playing a factor, and eventually you want to be that kind of trader that is potentially green every single day, right? You want to come in and be like, yeah, I know that I have potential ideas, and I know that if they work, we're gonna potentially be successful on them. And if not, we're going to be successful nonetheless because we're going to take our stops and we're going to follow our process, and that makes our day green as well. So let's see. Shout out to the chat. Let me know what you guys are trading here. C Battle is talking about Intel. I know that Neil and Sean were talking about Intel in the morning show. Let's see what Intel has been up to today. A little bit of RVol as well. What is the news on this one, Adara?
Oh, there was some news.
I definitely missed this one. Do you remember what that was?
Oh my gosh, every 2 seconds there's news. So there's this guy, Lip-Bu Tan. He's like he's the chair or something of Cadence Design Systems. So that is another semi-related company. They're in that sector in the S&P 500. Basically, Lip-Bu Tan, he was on Intel's board. Then, as of a filing revealed on last Friday, he left Intel's board. That is one fact. Then another fact is that we have this report here from Reuters being like, oh yeah, Lip-Bu Tan left the board because he had some disagreements in terms of what Intel was trying to do with their strategic restructuring. Then around the same time, we have CNBC reporting that we have like Morgan Stanley trying to advise Intel here in their strategic options. All of this is to say, I'm just giving some context. So then today we get the Catalyst report here from Bloomberg that Intel is weighing some strategic options, including maybe the separation of some of its businesses like design and manufacturing. So interesting look there for INTC. I do apologize for the long-windedness, but I like context. One of the biggest things I've learned since stepping on this news desk is like one thing Brendan really drills that I think is really important is the importance of having the whole story and getting the whole story. And that's why I like to provide a little bit more context. I think it's better to have all of that padding than not. So shout out to Jay Lee, who was saying maybe like get out a little bit here of this Lulu position. I don't have that much left. I only have room for 2 more outs, so I want to be using them strategically. At this point, I don't think I have a reason to leave yet. And instead of with the prior bar low, which I'm still trying to use as my exit, I think that's more realistic with the 3-minute because the 5-minute it's like a little you know what I mean? It's a bit much. So we'll give this to 260s. If we get below 260s, I'll get out. I have no qualms, but I don't want to get out until I've fulfilled that, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I already did take out a third as well. So, and that was earlier than I initially was going to. I just was kind of trying to react to what I was seeing. So let's see what happens. Maybe it can't get 260, 250s, but I don't think that's an unrealistic level. So we're going to wait. We're going to see. We're going to scheme, plot, hopefully get money. Because right now we are not the furthest thing from idea. That was a little bit long-winded. Shout out to Drake. Nothing was the same. And we're definitely not in our worst behavior in terms of trading today. That is for sure Obi. What else are we looking at here? BRKB, you just get into BRKB and stay forever. Says Fiddleback.
Yeah. All-time highs.
Yeah, and it's his birthday today too.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah, shout out to Warren Buffett's birthday. I'm sure he was like probably pretty sad when he woke up and saw Ulta doing that because he's got almost 700,000 shares in that one as of the most recent. Oh, BRK. Why have I never traded this, Obi? No, oh my gosh, the expensive spreading name. Okay, BRKB. I'm getting somebody off my side chart. Dell, bye-bye. Sorry, Dell. That was a little cruel. But BRKB, that is the type. Oh, that's a range. Okay. Shout out to BRKB. Happy birthday, Warren Buffett. Also, interesting fact, Charlie Munger, RIP, has the same birthday as me. January 1st.
Way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not the same year, but but the same date. So shout out there to Charlie Munger. Shout out to Warren Buffett. Also, it's interesting too because this is actually this is the anniversary. I've been here for 1 year, exactly 1 year today, August 30th. Not on the show, but here in this office, in this building.
Congrats.
So yeah, so thank you. I appreciate that.
All
Big
right,
day for growth and.
So with that, okay, so you're saying today is your 1 year.
Yeah,
so
1 year.
How has your experience on the floor been? I know that you've been wearing many hats there. You put in a lot of work as well. So yeah, talk to us about your experience on the floor. Being here for 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things is just like and I say this a lot, I feel like you just learn a lot from everybody, right? You learn a lot, Brendan giving a lot of different advice. I get a lot even from the production side, but also in terms of like the trading floor, I think what's great is everyone has a different style, right? But you can learn a lot from everybody, regardless of what their specific style is. And I think that's huge, right? Like I'll hang out here with the guys and stuff, and everyone's going to trade different names. Everyone's going to have the different type of style. But I think just the fact that we're all in this journey of trading together, right? And as Obi said, you're going to be up, you're going to be down, you're going to be all around. But it's about the processes and trying to develop those processes. So I think one of the biggest things I've kind of learned from the floor is just finding, I guess, that symbiosis in all of this difficulty. Because no matter how you approach the market, we're all going to be approaching these markets. They're doing more or less the same thing. It's about how you react. And I think it's about adaptability as well. And it's about hanging out with, honestly, the environment, the fun of the floor has been great as well. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that really answers your question. It was kind of a long-winded, I guess, answer. But I think one of the biggest things I've learned is just kind of adaptability and just how much you can really soak up via osmosis from everybody around you. Talk to everyone, be open to everything. I never thought I'd be trading. Like August 30th, 2023, never would have thought I'd be trading. Here we are today, trading live, having, you know, some of yesterday Crowdstrike, this Lulu, having some of my quite frankly, better trades. So I think that's one of the biggest things.
Getting over 3 points.
Thank you.
4 points.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
On Lulu, yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, no, and I
Definitely
think
come a long way.
thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for giving me the opportunity. I apologize for the long-windedness of that response. But yeah, just being open to everything within reason and just growth. And I will stop ranting now. How are you? Oh, thank you for putting that in the chat too. Oh boy, what a fun year it's been, Obi.
Nice. That's again, I speak of this as well. The floor environment is absolutely solid, a unique environment to kind of be in, and yeah, lots of learning that's happening in many aspects. Now, again, trading teaches you a lot about yourself and about life as well. So again, it is definitely, there is a lot of value in kind of learning from others along their way in their journeys as well, and kind of building your own style and your perspective of the markets off of that as well. So I really love that about the floor. But yeah, let's get back to these charts. Thank you, Dara. Amazon got stopped out as it pushed back up above. I wasn't risking above day high, which is obviously, like, in real risk should be above day high. But I'm just like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep it a little bit tighter because if we're gonna go there, we might as well go to day high. But yeah, I'm gonna let this chop around a little bit here. And NVIDIA holding that 17.5. Oh boy, man, I gotta work on this. 120 was an area, 120 a little bit over under, and I was like, all right, well, I want to work with 120. I want to revert it back into 120. I want to take it off of 120 as well if we get directional. And yeah, there it is. Okay, so we're coming back in a little bit there. So a little bit of a double tap on Amazon of these highs there. So that's some aggression. But let's see. You know what? If we're gonna chop sideways, it is relatively strong to the market, and I am trying to revert a relatively strong stock. And I know I've learned a little bit, I guess, hopefully. For better or worse, that maybe you want to be a little bit more nimble, right? JKL with the super chat. Oh, NVIDIA trying to turn back up. Yeah, man, this is 117 halves is month open. Can we expect a little bit of a bounce at the very least? In my opinion, yes. And we are getting a little bit of that. We got a 1 point bounce. So if your idea was I'm gonna scalp I'm gonna scalp a bid off of that month open as we come aggressively all the way from 121s. No real relief. VWAP rejection plus 120 rejection confluence. Day low rejection confluence. Market tailwind confluence to the downside confluence. Maybe we get to catch a little bit of a scalp there as well on a potential reversion. And we've been catching a 1 point push on that on the NVIDIA there. But yeah, where's the next trade? I am definitely looking. Amazon is definitely on my watch, but nothing too crazy as of right now. Let's go, Adara. Let's go.
Thank you. I took out.
Talk to him about that trade.
I would love to. Yeah. So I took out another third here. Shout out to Daly saying take 261.80 for an out. Just hit. Yeah, I appreciate that. I ended up taking because I still wanted my 262.50s. I thought it was realistic. I ended up going 261.98. So kind of in between there. Shout out to you, Daly. And guys, I still have a third of this trade in. 257. Like basically 258 there as we got that level. And it's great too because I said I initially saw this short at 256, but I didn't take it. Because I said, Adara, what were your levels? And I'll read you back my levels. My levels on Lulu were 253, 258, 263, 266. So I saw that 253 bounce, and that's why I decided to get long there once I had those levels. That's also, you know what I mean, why I really like this kind of just area around 263, and why I was happy to add at 258, which ended up being confluence with VWAP. I talked about how confluence is one of the biggest things here. So prior to our low 261s, if we break below 261s, which it looks like we might do, that's where I'll be getting out. And I will have, I have no regrets, Obi. Only smiles, only happiness. Sorry, guys, I know I've only been really trading this one name all day, so I haven't really looked at much else. But honestly, not a lot of the other tickers I was looking at were really coming into levels for me.
There it is.
To be fair. Oh my gosh, Tesla floosh. There's a big floosh in this year market. Sounds like there was some excitement there from Sean about that big floosh. Thank you, Obi. I like the shout out in the chat there. Thank you very much, Obi, as well. I do appreciate all of the support there. And it's nice that you're now in the chat because I know for a while you were not in the chat. Oh my, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous.
That is sick.
That is gorgeous.
Sean chopping it up right there. Let's go. Underneath VWAP, holding the level hold as the market rips lower. Let's go, Sean. Solid trades there. On the TQs as well, trade in the market. Amazon coming in through that 175. Oh boy, you got me out. You never went to day high. This is what I get for not giving it real risk to day high. I was like, oh, I don't want to give it 40 pennies. I'm going to give it 20 pennies. Yeah, don't do that, dude. Give it the real risk. Shut up and trade. So that's me talking to myself.
I love it. Well, you also talked to Amazon there too. You just say Amazon.
Yeah.
I think you're talking to yourself and Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, so here's the thing. Currently my exit rules, like look at this. Clearly my exit rules need a lot of work. And when I'm going to be doing this, my weekly review for this week, and obviously, monthly review. Oh, that reminds me. I'm a little behind on my monthly reviews. God damn. Okay. All right. So I got to do my August monthly review as well as my July monthly review. I'm just remembering. I'm like, I knew I've been forgetting something. Oh boy. All right. So on the last day of the month. But that's fine. Something that I do need to improve on for going forward from this week and this month is exit rules. So I'm kind of leaving a lot on the table over and over again, in my opinion. And exit rules will definitely having more structured exit rules for that, and being not so aggressive with the ads, right? Like you have a decent entry, you have a decent ad on the break of the trend. You're getting too aggressive when we get into VWAP. Can you expect a little bit of chop around VWAP? No, sure. Sometimes we just crack right through and it goes right through. But more often than not, it's VWAP. It's a volume-weighted average price. The average participant on the day is sitting in and around that area. Can you expect a little bit of chop? Yeah, perhaps. I think with a decent probability. More often than not, you can expect a little bit of chop. So does it make sense to get aggressive and bring your average down right above VWAP in that scenario? Maybe not. Keep your average up there. When it cracks VWAP, when it cracks some of these lows, or maybe let it crack, let it retest, and let it hold VWAP as resistance, giving you that confluence in the direction you're already going in to get more, and that's where I want to get aggressive. So this ad definitely plays a part in me covering very aggressively as well. So that is something I do have to do better with going forward, but it is what it is. We analyze, we reassess. What's that thing you say?
Adapt, react, readapt, act. Shout out to Steve Carell / Michael Scott of The Office.
From The Office, yeah. So you're doing some readaptation, you're doing some reassessments, and then you're coming right back at it. So day's not over. Tomorrow's also another day. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking there. Join the club. Obi saying, Sean.
Is it regard to exit rules?
Oh, exactly. So again, it's a work in progress. Sometimes your entries are going to be on point. Sometimes your exits are going to be on point, but you got to bring that together. And that is definitely something that I have to work on much better there. Having 121s and then not taking out the day low when it does get taken out, like getting with the sellers, I think is a little unacceptable on my part. For a trade continuation, but that's something I do have to get better with. Here comes the NASDAQ. A little bit of a double bottom wick happening here off of the 19420s area, 19411s here, day lows as of right now. So a little wick action there as we slow down and take a look at that. NVDA is holding that month low, oh boy. So do we print a little bit of a green doji, or do we print a red doji on the month? This is what I'm talking about, guys, here on the NVIDIA. So let's go to a 1 month chart. Oh boy, take a look at this. We had a couple, not really bets, but we were talking about yesterday, right, Sean? NVIDIA up or down? I was like, NVIDIA definitely down. But I was like, maybe I don't want to have so much, I guess, aggressive confidence. But I was like, I like my charting and I trust. We talk about believing and trusting in yourself. And oh boy, I was talking about this trend resistance coming in from all-time highs, Sean. So look at this, all-time high is 141. This is a 30-minute chart. You draw a line, it takes 2 points to make a line. That's a high, that's a lower high, 137s. And take a look at where we chopped around coming into earnings for Q3 of the year, or Q3, yeah, Q3. A little confuzzled sometimes, whatever. I like my charts. I'm not really good with fundamentals. I like candles. I like candles and I like my lines. I like some of my moving averages and I like my volume, especially I like my volume. Definitely giving me that good more often than not is the volume indicator there. And the good definitely came in with that resistance coming into fruition right here on the NVIDIA. So sure, you attempt to push that trend resistance, but it did pull in quite aggressively back well within trend, right? So it's like, all right, you can make a decision, you can put some bets on, but chart. And I was like, literally to Joe in the back yesterday, I was like, chart don't lie. Yeah, I got a little confidence. I was like, yeah, chart don't lie. Look at that. We were at trend resistance, bro, and we dropped down on earnings. What do you think was going to happen? Yeah. And does this really look like a place we should be buying stocks right now, especially NVIDIA, as it's doing this kind of chop dance in and around this resistance? Now, again, I can speak a big game, but at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just another speck. I'm a speck on the tape as of right now. So that's what it is. But that trend resistance did come into fruition quite aggressively as we pulled in. Look at where we pulled into, Adara. We pulled into the anchored VWAP from August 5th on that earning. So August 5th, capitulatory action, in my opinion. Sure, retrospect, sure, you can say that. It's a little bit capitulatory. Yeah. You pull in, you drop an anchored onto August 5th. Earnings reaction, we said 10%, the outlook was 10%, or expected move was 10%, right? We're like, okay, potentially we could break through highs or we could drop down to where we were. Again, Sean was like, yeah, we could just drop down to where we were last week. And that's kind of where we pushed in.
Sorry, just got to quickly thank Mumu here. Sorry about that, Obi. Thank you for that analysis. We are brought to you by Mumu. Are you looking to maximize your idle cash? Because you can earn 8.1% on idle funds for up to 3 months. Plus, U.S. users can take advantage of up to 15 free stocks, $300 in cash rewards. Hey, Canada, you're not left out. Enjoy 6% in cash balances, along with an up to $2,000 commission rebate. Sign up with Mumu to trade on extended trading hours. Trade 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., well beyond regular market hours, because whether you want to react to pre-market news, catch after-hours earnings, or simply manage your portfolio with more flexibility, Mumu has you covered. Maximize your trading potential and stay ahead of the curve with extended hours today. For more details and the full terms and conditions, scan that QR code or click the link in the description. But right now, we're going to take a moment here to spend some time with Neil. Let's go.
Lesson of the day time. And the lesson of the day is don't always try to explain what's happening. Just react to what's happening. I just heard Obi say the chart doesn't lie, which is hopefully true. Chart don't lie because the chart's telling you what happened in the past. So if a chart's lying to you, then your software is having a problem. At the end of the day, it's impossible for it to lie. Or you're not listening to the chart. But no, what I want to get at here is we always, as human beings, as most of us probably are, I hope. I mean, there's probably some lizard people somewhere out in the ether. But as long as we are who we are, we're always going to need this urge to explain things. Like, why is this happening? Why is this stock strong? Why is this stock weak? And I'm going to use a couple of examples here, so how this can get you into trouble. So you would have heard me several times talk about how Apple was weak today. And I'm like, why is Apple so weak? What's going on with Apple? Blah, blah, blah. No executions in Apple. I was looking for shorts in a couple of things. And the ones I liked, some we got into with AMD, and I can get to that in a second. But here's the truth of it. The chart doesn't lie. If you look at the daily chart, Apple's been going absolutely nowhere. Then it broke out the top, finally starts going yesterday, and then you get this rejection and then the lower highs. It then tries to break out at 8:30 on the number and immediately starts dumping. When the market looked strong, this was already pulling back in. And then what does it do at 9:30? It loses the previous close, which was where we're breaking out from in the first place. So everything about that move was saying reversal off of the open. Yet, when it gives you this pop, which is a standard trade for me, if a stock is relatively weak, I've done this a million times on Intel. Stock is relatively weak for whatever reason, I'm like, I don't care, it's Intel. Short it back into the previous pre-market high. When it bounces here, you could have shorted it back into the previous close. Like, it's just textbook trend trades to the downside on Apple. It doesn't matter that I don't have a reason for why Apple's going down. It's trending down when the market is strong. Just go short. And to juxtapose that, because we should do this in every single direction, I heard a million times, Obi, but Sean as well. Why is Amazon so strong? Who cares? Who cares why Amazon is strong? When everything else was tanking, this was actually, bouncing off of and nowhere close to its breakout price. And once it got above VWAP and back above this level, like there's resistance on Amazon, there's resistance on Amazon. Once it held this area, 174 to 174.30, who cares? I was sitting there in Benzinga looking for a story to explain why Amazon was bouncing after 11 o'clock. Who cares? It reclaimed VWAP when the market was making lows. That makes it relatively strong. There's a long that you can join into. Okay, so it only goes an extra $1 from there off of VWAP. But then it shows you 75 a couple times. You can make that trade. Like there's trades available by simply just listening to the tape. What is strong, what is weak, all that good stuff. And I want to take it a step further. Because I'll tell you right now, it's not just about whether you can explain a trade in terms of why something is happening. Your own personal bias can get the best of you. And if you get too bullish on a stock or too bearish on a stock, you're going to have these internal battles with yourself when it comes to going in the other direction. So if you have an opinion that you formed on something like a firm over a long period of time where shorting the pops has just been working in a general sense, shorting a firm in a big resistance has been an absolute money trade for the entire year up until right there, like just in the middle of August. It's been a money trade. But when it breaks it back out, you got to be able to flip the script. You got to be able to take that long. Yesterday, 2 longs, and then the third one was the best. That's the one we missed. Today, look at how easy this is on a firm. You have an earnings play. You have an earnings dip in the highs, continuation, and then what does it do at the open? It basically barcodes at the close price, attempts to go down, fails, and then just goes up. You can take the break of the high for a small trade, or you can take a dip into VWAP for trend continuation, and even another dip into VWAP for trend continuation. Don't let your bias get the best of you. At least we were able to, and my Intel chart is what a firm should look like. Because there's no good reason for a firm not to look the same way that Intel did. Now, obviously, we're able to overcome some bias with Intel to just buy VWAP and then buy dips into the previous break and then buy dips into VWAP again and may be able to hold on to it. So it doesn't matter what you think of where the company is headed. If it's going up and it's trending up when the market is having trouble, then you want to get into it. So I wanted to make sure I showed you guys a firm first because I'll guarantee you this. I feel like it was easier. Easy is not the best word when you're talking about trading. But I think it was easier to wrap your head around why you should just continue the party in a firm than why you should do it into Intel. And part of that is because you were going long in Intel into highs from earnings when the stock had been weak, into a big rejection level on Intel. With a firm, and don't get me wrong, both of them were good longs. With a firm, you're just going out into the ether now, and you were breaking it out. You got to have continuation plays like this, right? So there's a couple of things that can happen. The need to explain a trade before you get into it. Why is this happening? If I don't know why it's going down, and I think it should have been a long today, or I thought the market was going to be strong today, I shouldn't need a reason when the chart's telling me trend down on Apple. The same way you don't need a reason when chart's telling you trend up on Amazon. But likewise, don't let your bias get the best of you. If you tend to think that a stock or a company is good or bad, sometimes you got to be able to put that on the back burner and just take the trade in the other direction. Now, I've had no trouble, shorting Intel when we have the opportunity to, and when you go long, you got to go long. You had to be long a firm today if you were long yesterday. That's just how trading goes as a day trader. It's not a good look when you have a good long like this and the continuation is just as good and you're not a part of it. And then the last one is, it's not bad in that AMD, I've liked AMD for a short, but there's another problem with sort of getting wrapped up with a certain idea or something in your head that you think is right or you have a good explanation for. Look, I've liked AMD because it keeps failing highs and trending down and has a trending down look on the daily chart. And when I look at it on this 15, it's like there's no fail the high, look for shorts, and every time it pops, look for shorts. There's pop and fade, consolidation drop, pop and fade, pop and fade. There's nothing wrong with looking for that opportunity. But once I was talking myself out of that one, and I'm talking myself out of it when NVIDIA was strong and we're going long on NVIDIA, I was then missing opportunities to possibly short other things. because if I didn't like what I was seeing over in AMD, well, I mean, there's a bunch of other chip names that were setting up something very similar. And I'm just going to use the example of Micron. I was so fixated on looking for an AMD short entry because that is what had worked. And I had my head wrapped around a notion of why it was good. And then a very, very easy setup happened on another chip name. Like, look at $98 and look at Micron. So if I do the usual thing where I'm scanning every single chip and okay, which one is the short that I want to join? Which one looks good? I didn't even bother with Micron today because I was so fixated on NVIDIA and AMD and Intel that I didn't bother checking it. And usually you'll see me bopping the head, symbol to symbol, doing my work, but I was fixated on a few stocks and I didn't go through the entire list. I miss an obvious failed breakout and then trend down on Micron. Fail break at 98. Is there an easier chip short than this one? Now, things might move more than this, so I'm not going to tell you it was the biggest one because I haven't checked them all, but that's a fail break at 98, and then every step down is an easy one. The retracement in the VWAP is an easy one. So you got to be able to sometimes step away from your narrative, step away from your bias, step away from your need to explain what is happening, and just make trades. Price doesn't lie, chart doesn't lie, Trader TV doesn't lie. You've just got to be able to stick with it. I mean, I have to end it that way. We try to keep it as real as possible around here. And with that, I want to remind everybody that if you are interested in learning to trade, if you have a passion for the markets, if these lessons speak to you because you want to be learning how to do this in the right way like we all do, I'm trying to improve every single day, then the campus program is back here at Real Trading. If you're located in Canada, if you have a passion for the markets, if you want to trade live, if you want to trade real money, then this is for you. It is a full program, start to finish. We're talking about an introduction to the markets, for the basics, and I'll tell you right now, when I started as a trainee a few years ago, it wasn't that long ago, it was a few years ago, when I started as a trainee, there were people that had lots of market experience and others that had absolutely none. And I'll tell you, you have to be humble about it and understand that you might know some things already, but you're going to learn some things in that introduction. You're going to learn some things when you're introduced to the platform. Lots of people know what the buy and sell is and stop orders and brackets and all that stuff, but there's things about this platform that are going to be new, and you want to make sure you know it in and out because it's a great tool and a great trading tool I've been using for over 20 years. So you get that introduction to the platform. You're going to go into a great simulator. It's a fantastic simulator with one-on-one coaching and training. Some of the boys in the back will be doing it for you. Brankles and Wayne are both involved in it. Lars in the back. They're all fantastic. One-on-one coaching every single day for about 4 weeks in the simulator. Then you get the chance to go live. You're going to go live, trade real money for potential profits. Now, profits aren't always going to come easy, but it's about putting in the effort and trying to get there and doing it for real. Tracking your results, talking with your coaches, working 16 hours a week on your trading, meeting those goals, trying new things. That's what it's all about here. And you do it for free. But you got to follow the program and you got to put that time and effort in there. I cannot say that enough. As I said, it's 16 hours a week. You're going to have support the entire way through. You do have to be in Canada. I'm sorry for everyone in the US that wants to be a part of this program. And for now, it's only in Canada, hopefully expanding to other markets soon. That's our campus program. As you can tell, I'm passionate about it. Sean's passionate about it. When Sean and I broke away and opened our own trading floor, it was actually called the campus office, where we hired students for part-time. They would come in, they'd be in school, part-time they would learn, and the passion that we would see out of the young guys was amazing. And a few of them actually still trade today. One of them owns his own office in Toronto, which that's one of the most humbling things out there. That somebody that got our start with us when he was just a kid, he was an engineering student when he was 20 years old. And he did everything the right way. And he learned and he grew, just like in this campus program. And now the guy's been trading for, I guess now it's like 18 or 19 years. He owns his own office and he trains his own traders. And that makes us very proud. I want to see everyone else have that kind of success. If you're going to do this, do it right. Put the time and effort into it, and nothing better than free. The market's going to take money from you as you're learning. Best you can do it in a program like this, where it's someone else's money. That's the campus program, everybody. Check out the QR code that's up there, and check the link in the description as well if you're interested.
Hashtag Neilage. Thank you so much there to Neil for that lesson of the day. Also, shout out to Obi putting Chips don't lie, but like it's C bracket hips. You should check it out in the chat. I was singing that song a lot ago. We were talking about charts don't lie. Although, as Fabian put it in the chat, charts do fib. Shout out to Fibonacci's. Tesla, okay. Tesla coming into that 209.50 level that I find kind of interesting here. This is a multi-day level. Look at this. If we break below that, I'm kind of tempted to short, but I want to talk about Lulu after, but first I want to hear what you're doing over here. Sure. I almost said Sharif. I'm so used to being at this desk here. So I know he called you Adara apparently once while it was you and I here. It happens. So look at that.
It happens. Yeah, no, I'm just, I'm looking at this Amazon. I'm like, oh boy, yeah. Did not risk the day high. It kind of comes in to almost day highs right there, 63s, I think. And I think 68s was this high there. So it kind of triple tops 175, 60s, and then it pulls back into VWAP. That's perfectly fine. Where's the next trade? Market's kind of chopping and churning right here underneath that 19.5 that I'm kind of watching there. And NVIDIA, look at that. We're almost right back at 119. So it's looking like that 117 half month open hold is doing a little bit of a reversion to VWAP here as the market does a little bit of a chip chop in and around, I guess, in and around, what is this, 19.450s. 19.450s right here, so 50 points below that 19.5 that we did kind of identify as potentially an area of support, short-term support and resistance right here on intraday morning session. A little bit of some lows there, holding consolidation coming in off the open, strong sell, a bid back up, can't really get past that 19.5, and now we're trading a little bit lower there, pushes into 19.4, 411s, 420s, get bought up aggressively, but now we're just chopping and kind of in a sandwich in between those levels. There's a little bit of consolidation happening as of right now. So let's see if that consolidation continues to the downside, or we just chop again end of the month there, end of the week as well, kind of coming into confluence. So let's see how this day ends off. I'm not really seeing too much on the board there. I was setting up another set of charts for myself, kind of earnings watch there. So Dell kind of reverted all the way back to day open, above day open, and it is wicking that right now. And yeah, we'll talk about a reversion. Oh boy, this has been a reversion and a half right here. Look at that, nice little flush off the open, 110.67 day lows, chop, 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 sideways underneath VWAP. You reclaim VWAP, you reclaim this consolidation high at 114s, just underneath that 115. You pull back to 115, take a look at that pullback, hold intraday support and resistance, confluencing with that pre-market consolidation low as well, kind of that earnings pullback consolidation highs and lows as well. So you attempted to break below this little range that we did in the after hours after selling off on that earnings reaction, and then you break right back above, and we're trading within range there, within the range of that earnings reaction on Dell. So that's definitely interesting. Let's take a look. I know that Adara has been in Lulu. Shout out to that Lulu trade. Where'd you have that entry? 160.
So I started at what 256 is where we started.
Nice.
And we got out the last piece at 260, 250s.
Wow. Okay, so that's almost a full 10-point trade there. That's
yeah.
That is pretty solid there. And you're taking, like, what was your reasoning? You're taking a reversion there. What's happening?
So part of it was reversion. Part of it was that 253 level. I really liked in the book when it was like moving over here. You can kind of see it on the chart as well, right? Then I was watching to see what we did here at 253 as we tried to break back below, because I said if we break 253, it's a short. But then, and I said I always really, really watch the book for the spread, these spreadier names. So that we have 250, and I remember this so vividly, 250.30 on the bid, 250.80s on the ask. Then we start creeping up on the bid. It's like 253.31, 253.32, 253.33. And I can tell we're trying to gear up to here. We're pushing back the hand, getting ready to slap the ask.
Let's go.
I could tell. And so I said, okay, Adara, watch out for here. So the area I wanted to enter was this line here, this line, that 254.60, because that was an area there was a little bit of interaction here earlier. I liked all these wicks. I said, okay, Adara, 254.60. Didn't get filled. Then I said, where's the next level of interest? Look at that 256 level. You had all of this kind of interaction here earlier. Chip chop, chip chop, chip chop, sell off. I'm going to switch to the 5 minute because it's clean. There you go. Chip chop, chip chop, chip chop, break at 256. So I said, Adara, if we hold 256, that's where you start the long. You're risking here $1.40, which is a little bit more. But for Lulu, like I said, I was eyeing that 260, 250 area. So I was actually okay with that. Then I said, we'll add if we get into VWAP here. We broke above VWAP. I added, and this was where things got really dicey. It didn't actually get dicey. It was like, I think even when I was average, it was never against me. But I said, like, we took our sweet time to break above that 258 area decisively. Look at all these wicks. I'm starting to get a little bit shaking in my boots. Got out here part, $3 in the money at the bottom here, so 256 to 259. Then here we've got an average 257.50s, I want to say. Yeah, 257.50s. That was the average. I was like, dope, cool. Let's see what goes on here. I wanted 262.50s, but we were taking our time there. I want to shout out to Jay Lee in the chat who was saying, like, you know, maybe 261.80s. I ended up doing 261.98, so basically 262. That's where I got out there. Then we had a piece for the dream. I was going to do, so I said prior bar low in the 3-minute, that's where you got out. I saw that topping tail candle into 264s. I was like, I don't love that. Then I see we have this, we're careening here into prior bar low at 262.20. I got out 262.50. So I was arguably a little bit too quick on the draw there to get out, but took $4.50 in the last piece of that trade. Pleased as punch with this trade, not because of the P&L. That's fun too, but it was about the progress. I traded this exactly how I wanted to. I had a plan. I trusted myself. I was moving my stop as I went. This was a trade that was planned. I think it made sense. So I am really, really happy with how I did here. Then I was kind of looking for a reversion short at 262.50s because I was like, oh yeah, that was a level earlier. Okay, not that voice. That doesn't deserve that voice. It was a solid level. It would have worked out as a short. The reason I didn't take it is because I wasn't 100% confident, and I said to Dara, like, don't take a trade just to take a trade. You loved that first Lulu trade. Don't get in here just because you can. To be clear, would that trade have worked? Yeah, it would have been a good idea. Would we have felt as cool as Trenda in these shades? Yes, we would have. But we still feel as cool as Trenda in these shades. You know why, OB?
Why is that?
Because I followed my plan. And I didn't trade P&L.
That's
traded some progress.
Funny how that works.
Right? Isn't that funny how that works? When you just trade the plan, there's a couple people in the chat here talk about when they hit their P&L, they started seeing an improvement in their trading. I agree. Lulu moving down here, but I don't want to trade it just because I was trading it earlier. I don't know if we're doing the rundown because Shrew's not here. Oh, we are? Never mind. Okay, sorry guys. So I guess we are doing the rundown. Get in the chat, exclamation point, join space, $, ticker. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know about that. I apologize, I was not aware of that. Get into the chat, exclamation point, $. No, sorry, just $1. Join space, exclamation point, join space, $, the ticker. We got it, fourth try there, fourth time's a charm. That is what you want to do there. Yeah, I realized, I guess I was saying then a lot, but you know, as the trade changes, you have to adjust. And as you know, as Neil said, you have to be able to answer kind of questions as you're in the trade. I stand by that. And I really enjoy what is going on here in these markets. Hello, Jason Bourne in the chat saying hi. So shout out to you. Please, guys, vote. Sorry, I wasn't aware about, I apologize for mean in Bears versus Bulls. I wasn't aware about the rundown thing. So exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker. Wow, as I was yapping, I missed Tesla moving below that 209.50 area I liked. As I was looking at Lulu there, I haven't really taken the time to refamiliarize myself with all of these charts. There's so many stocks on watch here. Crowd looking to reverse based on some of those previous levels I liked yesterday. That might be my next target. But what are you targeting right now over here, Obi?
No, I'm just I'm looking at where you had some of those sells there. That's a great reason to sell, and it does kind of it's reverting back to VWAP there. Yeah. So again, strong reasons to buy, strong reasons to sell. Sometimes more. Sometimes they act as points of turning there, and yeah, that 262 halves or 263s pulling all the way down to 259s now, almost a 4-point pullback on Lulu, coming back right into VWAP. Is this anchored? This is no, this is not anchored. That's an anchored from prior something, but yeah. So this is just VWAP here. So yeah, we're coming into VWAP. Bit of a range happening right now. We are making higher highs and higher lows there. We did clip the high just by a little bit, and we're pulling back in into that VWAP there. So yeah, definitely have again Lulu day one earnings, right? So we talk about trading tickers with catalyst, trading tickers that are in by definition in play. Now, whether that's a fundamental catalyst or a technical catalyst is up to you. But again, a lot of these opportunities in these markets every single day, for those who are willing to look and listen to the price action and the charts here. Again, a lot of opportunities. Earnings season is some of the best time during the year, and it's so great that we get so many earnings seasons. And we kind of talk about this. Earnings seasons kind of like blend into each other. There's about a 2 to 3 week gap at times, but the earnings seasons kind of blend into each other with that two or 3 week gap. And if you can kind of come up with strategies around earnings seasons, around momentum that may or may not happen, again, with increased volume, increased participants, we talk about it being a PvP game. You're looking for people offside. You're looking for players in trouble. You're looking for panic. You're looking for, again, price action scalping is all about that. All about looking at, okay, it was buyers in charge, sellers in charge. Where are they in trouble? Where are there stops potentially? Do we see that happening on the tape? Do we see confluence with market tailwind? We see confluence with intraday charts, and is there also fundamental confluence as well? Right? Earnings report could be good or bad. Sentiment or the reaction to that earnings could be good or bad, or it could be disconnected. But what is going on? Can you paint the picture? Can you build the story? And then can you make a trade plan off of that? Off of those ideas there? And that, more often than not, I find for myself especially, makes a good trade there. Markets breaking down that 19.4. Hey, yo, fresh lows coming in. Oh, boy. That reversion on Amazon. It's okay. It's all good. I'm still watching, waiting for the next trade. What is the next reversion? I might be looking at CRM, man. Affirm looking like a little bit of a pullback as well. Ulta Beauty, sideways chop, but that morning drive off of the open, I feel like that was the place to be there. But right now, we're just chopping sideways on Ulta Beauty here. Let me pull up the chart so we can take a look at that. Look at that. So right there, boom, strong opening drive through pre-market and consolidation highs. Earnings reaction was a flush, and then we kind of you have this kind of a triple, like a top here, 345, another top 345 area right before the open on this little bit of increasing volume. The tops again around 345, and look at that open right there, holding VWAP, dips down into VWAP, strength off of VWAP, pre-market high break. Ulta Beauty does that level hold of both the opening range and of through VWAP and through pre-market high break. 345s bids all the way 15 points into 360s. Can't stop, won't stop, and then now just trading sideways there. So that bid definitely kind of showing itself there on Ulta Beauty. Solid price action there. I did not have any trades on it though, but let us know in the chat what you guys are trading, and we can take a look at those. Jose Rodriguez saying SMCI, bull or bear, SMCI 400 today. Let's take a look at SMCI. I haven't really taken a look at this one, but I know that I think Neil and Sean were talking about this over the past couple of days, trading it more often over the past few days. Again, post earnings. Sorry, not post earnings. Post this flush. I think they had some sort of news. I'm not.
Lots of yucky news stories. Yeah.
So we flushed through that 500, 400 today. We already clipped 400 earlier on this week, man. So can we drop down another 30 points there as we're trading at 427s? Yeah, sure. Why not? It's well within range of what this ticker can or has the ability to do. And if the markets continue to flush and we follow that sentiment here as VWAP's been kind of heavy on the day, sure, I have no idea though. Got to continue watching that ticker on SMCI. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. SMCI, we just covered that one. There's another one here as well. I think Softy, someone said Microsoft. Vamsy Ready saying Microsoft. So let's take a look at Softy here. Oh boy, yesterday that flush came in real hot. Take a look at this. We're just selling right now. Back-to-back selling coming in on Softy. A little bit of a trend continuation off of that end-of-day sell happening right now. So this was that double bottom I was looking at yesterday, that 412s on Softy. Look at that opening dip low in and around 411.85s. You flush down, you close near low day at 411.90s right there. So 411.93, end of day low there on Softy. We're trading at 412.33s as the market comes in and flushes down below this 19.4 there. Oh boy, Sean, that reversion is coming in real hot, man.
Let's go here.
Sean's saying he's still short. Short is I guess right as of right now, man.
Yeah,
Dollar in the money on the Qs. Let's go, Sean. Shout out. Yeah, let's go. TQs. That's even bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out there to Sean. Oh, we're gonna look at his chart now. Oh, that's beautiful.
Let's
look at that short range breakdown. Shout out to Sean on that. It's a dope trade. I'm in a reversion trade right now, and I have to talk about this because this is a trade that I knew. If you saw this on the position board, you might be like, what is Adara doing? Is Adara awake? Is Adara alive? I am, and I stand by this, and I want to talk about it. We're 30 pennies in the money right now, but it's not about that. It's about the process. Why did I get long Crowdstrike at low of day, you may ask, and I think that's a valid question. I had this line drawn from yesterday. This line is 273.50. This line was a huge turning point for Crowdstrike yesterday. As you know, I was trading this day one earnings. Look at these interactions with 273.30 yesterday on Crowdstrike, or 273.50. So we hold 273.50. Look at this. Even as the market flushes, because I was considering this long, and then we had the market flush, and I was like, probably the wrong idea. Then we have the market flush, Obi, and look what we do. Yeah. We bounce. And I said, Adara, look at what the book's doing. You believe in this long. It does not matter what other, you're beautiful no matter what they say. No, I'm joking. This trade is, that was a dumb comparison. This trade is beautiful no matter what. Well, for me anyway, right? It makes sense. I'm risking 50 cents here. If we break into that 273.50s, if I see stuff on the book I don't like, RIP this trade. But I would love to see us break here decisively above that line here. I think this might be going against us here. Let's see what we do. But I would like to see what we do here at 274. What is that number? That's a level. Sorry, brain. 274.50s. I have a feeling we're going to have to be getting out of this trade now, though, because we're getting a little flushy on this. Let's see what we do. But I am really proud I tried this trade because it was a trade I felt confident in and confident in. Let's see if we can hold this here, OB, because the buyers do not want to let go of this level for whatever reason. I'm aware of these topping tail candles, but I had confidence and I had belief, so that's what I went with. This is a level I liked in the book both days. It's a level I liked in the chart both days. I know it's a bear flag. I know this is a deeply counter trend look, but if you believe in it, if you have your reasons to buy, your reasons to sell, and there's confluence for that, I think you have to trust yourself to some extent. Another bounce here. Now, I know these bounces can hold forever. This trampoline could break. It could be like a dollar store trampoline. You take like 500 jumps, and they're great. And the 501 is where you like break your leg, and you got to go to the hospital. What analogy. But also, speaking of range breaks, I took Crowd as a long kind of maybe counterintuitively. But, okay, that BRKB range. Obi, if we cannot hold this 470... 50s, I weirdly want the smoke on BRKB. The volume is not huge here, though. Crowd is where the volume's at, so I would rather Crowd stay into this trade. We're 10 cents in the money again here. I don't know why buyers are pushing this, but buyers are pushing this. If we get above this kind of wick rejection support area here, 274.60s, I will be adding. I'm looking to see what we do here above 275.30s, a huge level on the day yesterday, and a level we'll wick to just above it here, 275.50s earlier today. But man, do I want some smoke on this trade? And I'm happy I went with it because I know it is a deeply counter trend look. But sometimes you got to believe in the reversion. We can all be the reversion man. J Powell who? No, I'm joking. Shout out to the reversion man. And shout out to Obi. What are you looking at?
I'm kind of just doing some scans here, reading the chat as well. Looking for the next trade. I'm just like, yeah, missed out on that reversion there on Amazon as well. There's Powell calling. So does that mean we are
taking your spot as reversion man, Powell? Just so you know, taking your crown.
Did he say anything?
He didn't. I just told him.
Okay, all right.
In case he was like calling because he was concerned.
That's fair. So a little bit of a wick action happening. 19.4. Let's see if we reclaim 19.4 here. And let's take a quick look at the Nasdaq. So let's see what these levels hold for us. Oh, okay. Hello, line. Let's see where that's from. I think potentially. Let's look at a 15-minute here. Okay, that's cool. Let's get the VWAP out of here. That is an anchored, I think, from all-time highs. Is it? I think so. Yep. So we are kind of in some potentially key areas. Let's see. We've been holding some prior highs as well. I want to go to an hourly. Again, you got to remember, so these instruments do trade much longer, or for much longer than the regular trading period there. So I do like to look at higher time frames and see how that kind of comes in. Again, kind of bringing in both the low volume and high volume sessions there that the futures trade on to capture a bigger picture, right? Capture the bigger picture there. So you can see we were holding this trend. Okay, so yeah, I do want to kind of point that out here. I'll go to the 3-hour. So these are lows from October 2023. These are the lows where we picked up the bid. We broke this little downtrend. These were all-time highs initially at that 16K mark, and then we pushed all the way up to 20K off of breaking that little bit of a trend. So we're taking that support for that trend, and then you can see that trend kind of comes back in. So this is where that trend line can potentially be drawn after we make that second point pullback right there. So we did kind of crack below that August 5th. Shout out to the carryover debacle that kind of happened, moved the markets worldwide, and then we catch a bid off of that, reclaiming some of that trend and just chopping it right now. We attempted to push that 20 thou, and then now we're incrementally making lower lows and lower highs there on the Nasdaq off of the 20 thou. Now, something I do want to mention: we attempted to push 21, we couldn't get to 21. We attempted to push 20, we didn't get. We're making a lower high there. That's interesting to me on the year. So let's see if we hold some of these levels. That aggressive pullback August 5th has been aggressive, just as aggressively bought back up, and we're trading as if nothing really, or as if those prices never really came in, or that action, it didn't continue is what I mean to say. We recovered, we reverted, we kind of balanced out, we corrected, whatever you want to phrase that as, and we're trading a little sideways at some key levels right underneath that 20 thou. So that's why I like that look on that 19.5. Can we hold that half point below that 20 thou mark there, 500 points, a little bit lower there? I'm seeing the SMH making some fresh lows here as well. So chips with a dip, Adara, it seems like is what's on the board today.
Yeah, chips with a dip, crowd with the dip. Again, like, I know this is, someone was saying, there's a lot of gravity in this chart. I am aware. Like, I do want to be very clear. This was not a trade that I took lightly. And I honestly, that's why, like, we had that move down in the market. And I said, oh, good thing you didn't get long crowd, Adara. And then we still bounce off 273.50. So I think it gave me a little extra confluence. I said this yesterday. I think the trades that I've had this week that have gone well, that would be my Netflix sim trade on Tuesday. We had that trade with Crowdstrike yesterday, Lulu today. Those all had really strong confluence. They had strong catalysts. They were moving. They were on the move. I guess I said the same word twice. Both of them, all of them were also kind of reversion-y a little bit. So it's like you have to figure out what works and try to approach those strategies. This is a much smaller position than what I had on Lulu or what I had in Crowd yesterday. Started here with a scintilla of shares, added shares, as I said, when I got that added confidence here. If we break below 274s, I'll get out for a small hit. I'm willing, though, to risk a little bit because I do believe in this trade. Like I said, this to me, multi-day confluence. And honestly, for me to take a trade here, going long at day's lows does not feel like great. Right? Or it shouldn't. But again, that doesn't matter because trading does not care about your feelings. It's not about emotion. It's about what's the chart's telling you. Yeah. What is the price action telling me? The price actions, or for me anyway, my interpretation, because I knew this chart, I knew this stock, we have day 2 earnings. I was like, you know what, Adair, if you believe in this, it would be actually not, like, it'd be bad not to get involved because you believe in it. So that's my take there. If we have any kind of, stagnant action here, 275, 30s, 50s, this whole area. 275.30 was the level yesterday. It looks like 275.50s might be more the level today. I'll be watching the book, seeing where to get some out here. Thank you, Freddie the Friendly Guy. I appreciate the comment. Can you get into Google for me, please? I'm trying to figure out a range, says 2 New York cents. Absolutely. Google, not when I trade a lot, but actually one that I had written down on my tickers to look for a document today, which is not usually something I have here. So I'm definitely willing to look at Google for you. See what my level was on this morning. Okay, 163, 162.50. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I have levels for you here. So 162.50 for the record. I believe it was 162.70 was that level. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 160. When did we have that drop? Okay, that was, yeah, it was 162.70. 162.70 was the level yesterday that I said was really interesting in the book when we had that big flush down in Google and then the recovery. So that whole area here around 162.50 to 163, I find to be really fascinating, like on a multi-day basis. In terms of today, look at that hold of 162.50. Look at that rejection of 162.50. That is beautiful. That is a support resistance flip if I've ever seen one. And in these markets, you see quite a few. So I think that to me is a really key level. Then we have here, I think, a little bit of support at 161.80. So that's about a 70-cent range. I will say, though, we're seeing slightly lower highs. I'd watch out to see what we do at 162.60. If we reject 162.60, to me, that'd be a bad sign. Why? Because look at this hard shelf area here, then this rejection. I would say 162.60 is the level in between, but the real range here, 161.90 to 162.50. I really hope that helps there. 2 New York cents. I hope that range helps. Listen to the chart, says Monty G. I agree. Listen to the chart. Da, 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 whatever that song there. I don't know where the price action is going, and I don't know why, but listen to the chart. Wow, that song works way better for this than it really should have.
Wait,
but
who's that?
I don't even remember. It's like an 80s. It's an 80s power ballad. as a lot of great songs were. But Crowdstrike here, bit of a topping tail candle here. I'd love to see us push above that 275s. Like I said, not getting out, giving this till 274s. Let's see what that can give us here. I stand by the ad. I waited for my ad. This doji, you know, you and I have talked about this. Dojis can kind of be a candle here of like indecision. It's not really sure where it's going either way. That could be a bad sign for me as we wick into the 90 MA when we generally have a bit of umbrella-ish action. So I am cognizant of the fact I could have been buying into a bad area. But honestly, like I said, I stand by this trade. I have no reason to leave yet. I'm going to keep pushing, keep it going. What else? Yeah, what else? Oh, Roxette apparently is the artist. I appreciate that. So I did not know that. I just had heard the song and I vibed with the song. But yeah, Spy here as well. I want to look at really quickly before I hand it back to Obi, who is involved, I guess, like, you know, carrying on a romance with his old friend there, Amazon. But the Spy here at the 558 level, I love here on a multi-day basis. Look how we test that 558. Higher highs, though, kind of bamboozling, but we keep wicking to 558. When 558 breaks, the Spy will fall. That spider, you know, used to be gripping onto the rings, all the cobwebs falling. Someone like swept the spider off there. And then we break 558s. Now we're rejecting 558s. This could be an interesting little rejection area for me. Right now committed to Crowdstrike. But if the Crowdstrike, you know, doesn't make me proud strike, I might have to strike out on that and move on to Spy. Way too many puns said in the last sentence. How is yours on going?
Not too bad. Just taking a quick little scalp here. Seeing what we do with that VWAP. We did wick back into that 19.4. No real confirmation just yet, but you know what? That's maybe we'll use that confirmation to do some more decision making there. But let's see if that will potentially come in here. VWAP on Amazon I have here at 174.73. We are trading right there, 174.70s. This is VWAP area, as you can see. We've pretty much been in a range. So shout out range trading. I know Adara likes to trade the range as well. But yeah, when the range comes in, I'm more than willing to I guess get involved with the ticker. But if we kind of drop back in, that's perfectly fine. We could, again, range lows down here at 170, below 174 is technically, right? But I'm observing that we are making higher lows there. Opening low 172 halves. This dip low 174s. This dip low right below VWAP 174 halves, right? So it's kind of stepping up, and we're getting that wick action there on the Nasdaq as well. So let's see if we can take a quick little scalp off of Amazon as it does a little bit of a chip chop there. And again, relatively strong to the market. So if the market kind of does a little bit of a bounce, I'm curious to know whether or not Amazon will do this bounce. So look, take a look at this bid kind of coming in on Amazon in and around 11 o'clock there. What happened around 11 o'clock here on the DAC? Let's go and take a look at the 10 o'clock right there. So 10 o'clock, we attempted to bid a little bit up there, and that lasted for about 15 minutes. So yeah, so let's see, 11 to 11:30, so 30-minute bid on Amazon there, and then that did a little bit of a reversion down to VWAP. I was looking for this reversion to go down to 174s, but when it holds the half like that on a higher low, I'm like, all right, well, scrap that short idea. We might just be in a range. We might be in a trend range as well. We might be in a flat top break. There's a lot of different probabilities, possibilities. I have no idea. I'm just trying to, again, shout out to the one land speed there. In a Twitter post, I don't think it was recent. I think it was a few weeks ago. He was talking about like how things he likes to kind of repeat to himself and kind of remind himself. And I took something away from that, which again, and I write it down every day as well as one of my list of rules to kind of remind myself. The chart and price action tell me what to do, and I listen to them. Right? That's kind of an affirmation as well. But again, it goes to show that even some of the best players around, they're looking at chart and price action, and they're looking for that the chart and the price action to talk to them, because this price action, the tape, does talk to you. Trust me, you stare at this stuff long enough, you're like, oh boy, I hear you. But it's my job to do proper listening. Am I a good listener? Is what will come out. And again, we talk about how trading will kind of bring the best and the worst out of you. If you're not a good listener, I don't know. Will you be doing effective listening on the charts? I do have to listen a little bit better, is what I'm getting at with that. But yeah, no. A lot of great learning from again the one land speed. Shout out to him, making waves in the trading community for sure. Amazon 174.80, so we did kind of bid above that that VWAP there. So let me pull up Amazon here so we can look at the book together. 174.80. So let's see how much further off of VWAP it can get. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy.
A little bit of a bid off that 19.4 coming in on the NASDAQ. A little bit of a bid off of 5,600. Oh boy, okay, I like that as well. On the ES, nice whole whole number bounce there, whole 100-point level bounce there, 5,600. How is your trade going? Market's looking like a little bit of a bounce, and that's definitely going to help out in terms of a tailwind there on Crowdstrike, Adara.
Yeah, Crowd struggling a bit with this 174.25 area. So we are like basically flat here, slightly out of the money. But like I said, I want to stay focused here. I don't have my reason to leave yet. My levels haven't hit, so I'm going to stay in the trade. That being said, do I feel like I may have gone long on this umbrella handle pattern? A skosh, and I say that because of that topping tail candle, but I'm waiting for my levels. That 275.50, if we have any resistance there, I will be taking some out. I know I said I initially like 275.30 yesterday, but the level today does seem to be 275.50, so I'd like to respect that. That's going to be the vibe here. Also, there was it was funny too, when you were saying, I want to really shout out what you said there with that talking about, the chart, like, is telling things to you, it's up to you to listen. It reminded me of that line from Drake's Find My Love, you hear, but you don't listen. So you gotta be a good listener there, right? Yeah. I appreciate that. You better find your level, right? You better find your chart. You better find your level. You better find your chart. Yeah, sorry guys, anyone who did not want me to continue singing, you are sadly mistaken.
Keep going.
In the chat here, we do actually have as well, Sean saying that he's trying to organize Trader TV karaoke. I'm down. You might regret that decision, Sean, because I will be there. I will be singing, and I will be singing every song. What would be your go-to song for Trader TV Live karaoke there, Obi?
I don't know. I do. I don't know. Maybe some sort of spin on The Weeknd.
I was gonna say, I know you happen to be a bit of the Weeknd fan there, I believe.
A Russ fan as well. Oh, he dropped another song. I guess 8 this morning. I was driving in. I was like, and I was like, oh, a new Russ song. Let's go. I do like the Russ a little bit, and then the new song's a banger. I'm not gonna lie. It's called I think it's called Get Up and Get It or something. Something like that.
It's good for trading, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was just like, again, like nice motivating kind of music in the morning to go and get the bag. So I like that on that. But yeah, maybe some sort of spin off on The Weeknd or the Russ. Again, love these charts and The Weeknd making some good loving songs as well as we interact with these charts. So let's see if this Amazon can break through this 175 here on the day. We did get a little bit of a bid up there, so kind of keeping that on watch. Again, markets giving a strong bid off of that 19.4. Let's see if we get a little bit of a reversion here as well. That's what I'm looking for. It may or may not come through. But that little bit of a wick action on that 19.4 as of right now, looking decent.
Yeah, decent look there. Yeah, sorry to get us distracted. I mean to get us distracted there, but to honestly to go off of what you said, because I really do stand by what you said. When you look at things long enough, they speak to you, and that is why I went long Crowdstrike. Because I honestly, like I said, I've had a bit of a hard time believing in myself or listening to myself. That's why I went into the sim for a little bit. To be clear, a decision I don't regret. I think I needed that time to come back. Yeah, no regrets. To come back and hopefully, try to kill it with these markets. That's why I went long here, is because this book was screaming at me. We had that big floosh down in the NQ, and Crowdstrike is actually making a slightly higher low here on a wick basis and bouncing off that level that I was obsessed with yesterday. Yeah, I got to trust that. I got to listen to that chart there and to that tape. So that's what I went with. I definitely, I wanted to address that because what you were saying was something that really rang true to me. Both the Lulu and the Crowdstrike trade were trades that definitely a little bit reversion. I don't know. So you have to reversion-esque. So if you see something you believe in, you just got to go with that here.
Let's go.
With Crowdstrike, I did decide I'm going to take some out here, 275.50s. I know I said that level was going to be a maybe level for me, but we don't have enough oomph here as we have the Q pushing to new highs. I want to get out $1.50 here at that 275.50 in terms of where the average is. Or not the average, that's like where I initially got in here because I have 2 halves of the position, getting the first half out here, 275.50s. That's just such a level that I would like to de-risk a skosh. Then I'll be saving to see what we do here at 277s. That was a level I loved yesterday. As you can see, I drew it. That being said, my yesterday's levels don't matter if they're not finding confluence on the chart. So with that in mind, maybe 276.50, which is another level that was kind of interesting yesterday. Maybe that's the level for taking some profit. I will say I might be taking profit out here too early, but that's the look I like on this for right now. I am comfortable with taking out some here, so let's get it. So it's a friendly guy saying, do it, make that trade, let's go. Has your crowd long cleared the spread yet, says the Piper? Yeah, I mean, we're watching the spread. Right now we're holding 275 on the bid here. 16-cent spread. I've always said I feel like the spread kind of tightening as we push higher is something I really like. And I apologize, guys, because I know I'm not always the best at describing what I see in the book. It's kind of one of those things where you know it if you see it. Right now, we're holding 275. We're pushing higher here on the ask. And we're pushing maybe into my profit-taking level here, Obi. Let's see if we can get that print at 275.50s. I put it 275.48s because trying to be a little cheeky with it. But let's see what happens here on these markets. What other tickers are you guys looking at? Because if there's any you're looking at, we'd love you to get into that chat. Let us know. Exclamation point joy. Space $sign. Whatever ticker you're trading. Maybe you want to, we talk a lot about, it doesn't have to just be Mag 7s, right? Maybe you want to look at Ulta. Maybe you want to look at Lulu. Maybe I'm looking at my side charts. You'll never know. Whatever ticker is on the move today. There's some small caps, so I'll look at some of those for people right now. BOF, I know, is on watch here. So that is Branch Out Foods. Let's see if that one's branching out. I know this has been a multi-day runner. That's for sure. Someone also mentioning Intel. Maybe vote for that. Oh my gosh, BOF. Oh, I'm not a small cap trader, but wow, that was like a roller derby the way I pushed that chair back. Because look at that 194, that rejection. That topping tail candle. We get it again. Another topping tail candle, but we get higher lows. So we break that flat top. That's cool. Flat top break. Nice job. What else can you do, Boff? Then it bounces off VWAP. That's gorgeous. Then we wick below it. We hold it. 194 to me, a great level on BOF. Again, not a small cap trader, but sometimes you see patterns and they just stand out. And I've said I will trade small caps if things set up for me. I have. It's just I prefer my more expensive spready names. One of bounce here we have all 559 there on the SPY. Also, before I throw it back to you, Obi, if I may, I want to shout out, hey, Davis, talking about how, who was saying, look how predictable Lulu is in the 5 minute. Yeah, Lulu fighting 256 again there. That's the area I entered that initial long. This is definitely level here for Lulu. Like I said, I was a little bit miffed. I missed that rejection short there at that reversion at 262. What is this, 262.50s? But you know what? I wasn't feeling 100% confident in it, and then I should have gone back to check to see how I was feeling. So it's all good. We did take profit here on CRWD. We're going to be doing prior bar low here for risk going forward. So I like to use the 3 minute for these spready stocks because that's basically my entry. It's pretty flat here. So let's see what we do here at 274.60s. I'm willing to get out flat because, like I said, you're not trading for profit or loss. You're trading for progress. You're trading for process, and you're trading for learning.
Nice. I definitely vibe with that. Yeah, no, you got to be confident in the trades that you're taking, and yeah, when things start clicking and start working for you, then you can definitely start pushing and even adding to your position. We see Adara kind of doing that as well. Shout out to the ads, both on your Crowdstrike and the Lulu earlier. Solid. And I see that you got your first target there. That was 276s?
275.50s because of that rejection there.
Let's go. The market bid, I was like, yeah, you might get that tailwind coming in with that aggressive bid in the market there. And the aggressive bid we did get as some of these tickers pulling back up. But NVIDIA, a little bit muted there, not really pulling back up as aggressively as some of these other names there. So I do have to kind of, I guess I want to consider that a little bit as a bit of maybe a nuance to keep in mind as well. Amazon still holding as of right now, so nothing too crazy happening there on Amazon, just kind of chopping sideways on the daily, but a little bit of a range happening there with a VWAP orbit. Yeah, let us know what you guys are trading. C Battle saying long Intel 21.6. So yeah, let's take a quick look at Intel and see what's up with Intel here. Intel long 21, what do you say? 2160? 2160? Was that 2160? Okay, cool, sick. So just here, just now, off of this little bit of a pullback there. But oh boy, what I see right away is a reversion that happened on the trend break here. So again, simple kind of trend line. You see that, you put it in right there. You kind of wash it, you get weaker, you test it, and then you break down on Intel. That is beautiful right there. But yeah, no, not bad. This is kind of the area where we caught that bid earlier, right? So yeah, good luck to you on that position there. But I have nothing really on NVIDIA that I want to get involved with as of right now. Oh boy, we're looking like a little bit of a pullback here. What's going on? I do want to stay nimble. Yeah, okay, so we are attempting to push once more at that 19.5. Now imagine we have a strong V-shaped recovery on the day. That would be crazy. But we have been doing V-shaped recoveries. We saw that NVIDIA yesterday Softy yesterday did a bit of a V-shape recovery on the strong bid that we had, right? Strong bid off of open, 411s all the way to 422s, pulls back in, and then now we're kind of holding that prior day's low as well. So that was a nice trade. I kind of definitely missed out on that one. 412, prior day, double bottoms in and around this level here. We come down into that level, we catch a little bit of a bid, and Softy bids up 2 points off of that. Sure, intraday, we are still making lower highs and lower lows, trending to the downside by definition there on Softy. So got to keep that in mind, but take a look at the market. The market's also trending down. So it makes sense that Softy is a little bit reflective of that, again, being one of the top tickers in the market now. Apple and Softy do a little bit of a dance where they kind of become the top weighted in the S&P, and yeah, so that's kind of a thing. And then I think NVIDIA is number 3 as of right now. Google and Amazon, Tesla, they're all up there as well. Meta's up there. Berkshire also up there as well. So a lot of tickers you might want to keep an eye on, as they are the constituents of the S&P 500. And something else I like to say is the SPY is my compass. And what is the SPY doing right now? I got to pull up the right chart. And the spider is attempting a little bit of a bid. 560s is where we are trading just below right now, 559.30s right here. So let me pull up the spider again, it did kind of fall off the water spout here below pre-market lows. Nice little flush all the way down, 3 points below 560s all the way down to 557, 14's day low, and now we're getting that aggressive bid right back up. Let's see what we do with this prior high right there. So we have kind of broken this trend. Now we talk about trend deceleration and acceleration as well. So this trend right now is attempting to break. And again, a little bit, if you want to do speed lines, the speed lines are, I guess, changing as the reversion kind of comes into fruition there. And there is the next 15-minute candle on the NASDAQ and the spider. Here we go. We're taking out some of those highs. That aggression coming in. Amazon, what you gonna do with those highs there? 175.60s. Can we get back there? 30 pennies away. Are we gonna find some more resistance? Are we gonna have that flat top breakout? The market's gonna do a little bit of a reversion. 19.5 test right now. Oh boy, here comes a bid.
And talk to him, Amazon. Tell him what you're going to do, okay? So we all want to know. Express, deliver, that man some profit. No, shout out to you, though. Awesome analysis. And I think, yeah, always great to be up here on this desk.
But I'm not an analyst.
I'm covering.
Analyst, though.
Oh, oh, sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
The shades. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, not an analyst, but, you know.
I don't know what those guys are on.
Chilling, vibing.
No offense to analysts.
Good times there. Yes, guys, I'm just really high energy because I do love these markets. Look at the hold here of 275 on crowd. So I said I was risking this to 274, as that was both prior bar low at the time. And also, actually, the level, shout out to Cool Looking Trenda. It was also the level here that I got involved. So it was like break even and prior bar low. I could vibe with that. We bounced here off 274.84. So I was like, dope. Good look. Cool times. Now we are holding 275.29 like a glove on the bid. We'll come back up, but we'll hold it pretty decently. If there's any stocks you're looking at with this kind of fervor, this kind of intense analysis, this kind of passion about these markets, which we hope you all have, get into that chat. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you like. And then 2 other people who have lots of passion for the markets, those are going to be Sean and Neil. They'll look at those tickers for you. They'll tell you what their thoughts are. Whatever ticker it is, let's get involved. Let's figure out what's happening, and let's get into that chat, guys. What other tickers are people looking at? I know, sir, guys, I haven't been in that many trades today. I've only traded 2 names. One of them Crowdstrike, one of them Lulu. But I stand by both these trades. Crowdstrike, as I said, we'll see what this one does at 276.50s. Intel, I want to talk about here. I know you just talked about analysis in Intel, so I don't want to belabor the point or anything here, but it was a question earlier in the chat I meant to mention, and then I forgot, which was like, why is Intel going higher when there's a potential, strategic, move around going on? They had those bad earnings, whereas meanwhile NVIDIA beats, and they were flushing yesterday on earnings. They're still only up about 0.8% today. So my answer for that, my honest answer after some reflecting, is because Intel is so down that at this point, any kind of news is good news.
Oh, I like that.
Intel is like, that's my take on that.
Yeah.
Intel's like, we're not, falling apart. Pat Gelsinger is alive and well and managing the business. Positive catalyst. So and I'm not trying to belabor, I'm not trying to like, demean or anything like that, the company, not trying to demean Pat Gelsinger. I'm just saying in investors' eyes and in analysts' eyes and everybody's eyes, these two companies are in very different places, right? NVIDIA. Also, too, different is NVIDIA had so much going on out of it. Like NVIDIA was like the star of the show. We had Jensanity. Jensen was, having like a Beatlemania level of fanaticism that we've never really seen for CEOs, right? So the companies are in two very different places. And NVIDIA, honestly, the people were needing a miracle in NVIDIA. They did beat, but they had the quarter over quarter drop in margins, and that's what got it, right? So basically the point is two very different expectations. With NVIDIA, we had great expectations weighing on their back. That they were honestly probably never really able to fulfill. That's basically impossible. As I was saying to Neil, no company can be perfect. That's what I said to him the day of. Like, no company is perfect. And that's why I said my prediction was, and I said this on the show with NVIDIA, was if they have any little thing that's slightly awry, they're going to sell off. That's what ended up happening. And it's just because that's the nature of having that much pressure on you. Intel's like kind of the underachiever in class. It goes to like one class a week. It sits at the back of the class. It's gossiping with his friends. It's probably wearing AirPods. And so when he gets an answer right, the teacher's like, oh my God, you're a genius. Again, not trying to disparage the company, just my analysis. I hope that answers your question. I will stop yapping now. The bad news is priced in, says Bonkzilla. Yeah, that's probably the best way of kind of, I guess, summarizing that point. NVIDIA, wow, NVIDIA. Okay, this is an interesting look here. This 118.66 level. I know Obi called out 119, probably a better level on NVDA, but let's see what that's one's doing here. Crowdstrike, how you doing, Crowdstrike? Okay, so prior bar low, we got here until 275.30, so we're getting to that area. Let's see if we can hold up this level. Like I said, I'm using prior bar low on the 3-minute chart because I feel like the 5-minute with the spread of your names that you're giving it like way too much wiggle room. You can't let them wiggle that much. You know what I mean? They can be like a little bit excitable, but your stop should not be as excitable, say, as me on this desk. They should be a little bit more subdued, a little bit more chilled. And so that's what I'm trying to do here. Again, guys, get into that chat, exclamation point join, space, $ ticker. Yeah, I know we had a little bit more of a chill lesson today for Friday, but I do want to shout out Obi for talking about those oscillators. Make sure you understand the math behind your oscillators. Make sure you understand what it's trying to tell you. That's why I have very few lines on my chart. And shout out to Sean. It was like, one thing he said to me earlier was always look at VWAP. And I think, you got to have that confidence here. I think you'll develop and you'll understand what indicators work best for you as they evolve. And I know some people have said, oh, you guys don't really use these indicators. Why do you talk about them? Because I think it's important to understand everything, right? Yeah. And then choose your due diligence, use the balance of the evidence.
It's sometimes it's because you understand them that you're not using them.
That's a good point too. And with that in mind, how goes the Zon? Because you are nicely above 175 here.
Yeah, no, it's holding trend as of right now. But I'm watching Spider kind of wick those prior highs there. We kind of talk about this kind of high there, a little bit of a confluence, a little support there. We're trading underneath this shelf as well. The pre-market consolidation, morning session consolidation. We reject that 560 as well. We kind of make a lower high here. We get a strong bid, and we're getting a little bit of a pullback at that prior level. So that's what I'm watching. I'm watching for this to, yeah, sure, maybe we expect a little bit of selling, but does that selling get captured once again? And does the bid come back in, or do we just chop sideways and make lower moves there? That's what I'm watching for there. I'm watching Amazon as well. Amazon's been holding this trend quite well, but again, if we're going to make a lower high, we have been topping out at that 175.60 area here, and right now we're attempting to hold 175 quarters as of right now, as the Nasdaq wicks that 19.5 once again. So a little bit of a pullback off of that 19.5. So again, staying a little bit of a key level. Again, already showing itself in the pre-market session, and then a little bit off of the open, as well as it does a little bit of a support resistance stance around that 19.5. Let's see if that comes in. The initial retest of that 19.5 giving us a little over 30-40 point pullback here on the Nasdaq. But how much time is left on this 15-minute candle to print is what I'm asking, and we got 5 minutes left for this 15-minute candle to print. So there is still a lot of time. 1/3 of the candle still has to be kind of gone through in terms of the timing. A lot can happen in the next 5 minutes there. Let's see what we do in and around some of these levels. But we did kind of break or attempt to break some of these prior bars here on the Nasdaq and both the ES as well. ES actually clipped its highs there and gave us a little bit of a pullback. So let's see if that kind of comes in there. That's all I really got. That's all I'm really watching. That's all I really got on watch as of right now. And yeah, you don't have to apologize for only looking at 2 or 3 tickers. Like sometimes some of my best days, I'm only trading 1 or 2 tickers. Like it's quality over quantity. I will definitely vouch for that. And yeah, we can definitely look at multiple tickers. But again, if you're kind of focused on too many things all at once, then you might be kind of diversifying your mental capital a little more than what you're capable. Again, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. Which is my opinion. I know there are traders who do exceptionally well doing that. And again, there's many different ways to trade. I know nothing, but I can only speak for what I think are my current strengths and weaknesses as of right now. But yeah, so that's kind of the look there. Let's see what the chat is saying. CING is moving. Sing is singing, apparently, Adara. So let's take a look at CING. I know this ticker kind of was moving around over the past week, I think, if I remember correctly.
It moves like all the time, like
Does
recently.
it?
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Okay, so let's take a look at a higher time frame. Is this a repeat offender? Post-split runner, hello. Haven't seen one of those in, I guess, a few months. But post-split plus earnings and then rip up from a sub 5 all the way to 25s, hello. And then a little bit of a bleed back in. Shout out to Swing Shorts on this name here. I guess day 2 of that move. Day 3 of that move, the backside came in real hot with that pre-market action kind of wicking and flushing through those prior days levels and then just bleeding off back down into $6 all the way from 25.70s. But yeah, singing to the upside on a Friday. Hello, a little bit of squeeze action, maybe some residual shorts kind of singulate ink. Okay, so let's see how much of a short float this one really has. I'm going to check it real quick. CING, if you will show me what that short float is. Oh boy, okay, so 3.51, but you got to remember that some of that short float data is 2 to 4 weeks delayed, and this price action on Sing is from, what is this, August 15th, so it's only been about 2 weeks there, so maybe not updated data. I'm going to go out on a limb and look at this chart and be like, there might be a little more than a 3% short float sitting on this ticker here. And if it starts to push some of these prior levels, oh boy, it's going to be the shorts who are singing a little bit. Maybe not in the most pleasant of tunes as this ticker pushes day highs with expanding volume. Oh boy, look at that volume candle as we push highs into that $10 level on Sing. So yeah, if you are a small cap trader, this is definitely on watch there. Market cap 16 million, and it is doing definitely some relative volume on the day there as of that push there. So 1.7, it was not doing relative volume prior to this, but again, it's been doing overall strong relative volume as well. I only have a 5 period on here, and we've been doing relative volume since August 15th on this ticker on Singulate. So a little bit of a potential residual move coming in here on Singulate. So Amazon holding some of those levels, holding the quarter above the 75 as the futures push back up. We only have 56 seconds left for this 15-minute candle to print, guys. So it's looking like a little bit of a green candle as of right now. So that's what I got on watch. NVIDIA still holding sideways off of that 17.5 monthly open price, reference price there on NVIDIA. So I like that look as well. Let's see what else is going on. What do you got going? Oh boy.
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any reasons to sell that you see there?
Yeah, I mean, we're pushing.
I'm asking you. I don't know.
Asking? Okay, well, here's the thing. So I was very, very cautious of this 276.50 level, and I'll explain why. Well, okay, it's kind of hard to tell because we're below it on the bid, but we're above it on the ask, so that's why the candle's pushing up. But look at all of this 276.50, right? Yep. I want to be cognizant of that. That being said, I kind of want to see what we do at 277s. 277 was a massive level yesterday. So if we get above 277s, that might be where we end here. I want to wait and see. I was not adding as aggressively to this trade as I was on the Lulu, and I think that's just because this, to me, this is a bottoming tail candle. I don't know, Obi. I'm a bit conflicted over here in this trade. Happy with this trade. I don't necessarily want to give it all the way to par bar low as, pardon? Yeah, shout out to Fabian there with the reference. I heard you was conflicted. Yeah, shout out to Fabian. Shout out to everybody here in this chat. Anyone who is looking here in any tickers, get into that chat. Let us know. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. here. So we will look at those tickers for you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking we might have to do 277s because the way we're pushing up here, you know, I think we're gonna do 277s here because I don't want to just give this all willy nilly. Some of these power bar lows are a little bit power bar lower than I would necessarily like them to be. We're gonna do just shy of 77s here. I'm cool with ending the trade there because yeah, I just want to be aware as we push into that area of resistance. Also interesting though, we've got Lululemon here, and Lulu is what are you trying to do? Lulu? I didn't say that. Did not say do. But look at this Lululemon here on this what we've got going on here at 256 here because that was a previous level of support. Held it. Now we're making a slightly lower higher at 257. My key level was 258. So the fact we can't get back to 258, a little bit of weakness potentially there on the Lulu, on that Lululemon. Let's find out. Crowdstrike not able to get to that 277s here. I'm still keeping eyes on this. Target looks like it wants to flush, says Drew Longworth. Yeah, definitely. If you're looking at Target, please let us know in the chat. Exclamation point, join space, $ ticker. Vote for that ticker. But also, Target, how are you doing here, Target? Slightly down here on the day. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I feel like Target's already kind of flushed. I think if we retest 150, 250, that would, to me, would be a lot of weakness. But as I'm speaking, it's making new day's lows. So shout out to you, Drew Longworth. Sounds like it might be Drew Shortworth on Target. How are you doing over here with your Amazon? I know someone was asking about if Amazon was able to break that double top earlier in the chat. As someone who's in it, I guess, yeah, what are your thoughts on that, maybe?
Not yet. It's still holding, which I like. I definitely kind of like that look that even with the market taking a little bit of a pullback underneath that 19.5, Amazon takes a little bit of a pullback as well, chopping underneath these prior highs. So yeah, we haven't necessarily broken out of this kind of double, triple top just yet, but we look like we're building into it. But then again, we could just be making a lower high as well. So I want to stay listening to this chart. And yeah, no, that's a good point there. Even if we come into that, I am kind of looking to kind of piece off of this if we start to break some of this trend here. I'm just looking at potential reversions. Sure, we could consolidate, chop, 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 and then continue to the high side. But with the market pulling back a little bit off of that 19.5, I do have to stay a little bit wary as well. And again, NVIDIA never got past that 119 just yet, right? We are kind of pushing a little bit of a sideways consolidation off of that month open at that 17.5 that I keep mentioning. And yeah, I just want to keep that in mind as well. Again, NVIDIA, one of the strong players in terms of constituents in the market. If that thing makes a strong push, then you're trading the Mag 7, then maybe you want to keep an eye on it. Sure, Amazon has been distinctly different. It has been relatively stronger. I want to keep that in mind as well. Again, giving different factors a different kind of weighting, right? Different information, different kind of weighting to make decisions is something that I am ever working on, trying to get better at, right? And again, I feel like that. Many people have told me that will just take seat time, right? It's just I do not have anywhere near the experience as some of the more experienced traders. Again, shout out to Sean and Neil. They've been trading for over 15, 20 years, right? So it's like, all right, so when you've seen that amount of tape, you definitely have a lot to say and a lot to go off of there. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a pullback here, so I do want to piece off of this a little bit if we can't sustain some of these consolidation lows here just on top of the quarter, 175s. Okay, thank you. I will get out of that one there. And you know what? More than willing to get back involved. It was just a scalp, right? I was trying to take it to day highs there, and I did notice that we are kind of slowing down. And the thing is, that 19.5 wick, maybe I should be piecing off a little bit better on that instead of just being like, all right, I'm going to do all in, all out, or kind of add in, all out. So different ways to kind of approach is what I'm consistently assessing and reassessing as I take these trades there. What are you guys watching? What are you guys trading? Jay Vandewey saying coin going to the gates. All right, so let's take a quick look at coin. Vandeleg? I don't know who that is. Yeah, coin selling off aggressively, I guess. So that kind of points me in the direction of Bitcoin, right? What is Bitcoin doing? If coin did a 10-point sell-off, 190s all the way to 180s, BTC, what are you up to there? Let's see what is going on over here on this blockchain. 58 halves testing right now, a bit sideways. Let's go a higher time frame there. 3 hours. Oh boy, here we go. There's a trend line. There's a bit of a trend line, a little bit of a resistance, higher time frame, multi-month resistance. Again, support and resistance, man. I gotta love it. And trend resistance and support as well, kind of coming in into play here as Bitcoin makes that all-time highs at 73.8, and then chop sideways. But again, taking a look at an even higher time frame, let's go to a weekly here and see where it is on that. So this, again, I remember you guys were here when we were kind of talking about this consolidation that happened in 23, 24, and we broke out going into 24 here off of this kind of consolidation. Failure to follow through below 20,000 is basically what that chart, this chart was telling me there. Initial kind of pop from 2017 goes to 20,000. We pull back in, resistance turns support, failure to follow through below that 20,000. We only get to a low of 15,460 before bidding right back up to that 70,000 mark. So let's see, bit of a consolidation, bit of a flag potentially happening here. Strong wick again off of this this August 5th week there that happened across the board in multiple markets, right? And we are testing in and around this 60,000 mark on Bitcoin. But yeah, on the daily, a little bit of a selling below that 60,000 happening as of right now. And again, maybe Coinbase kind of reflecting some of that selling. Coinbase has been in a bit of a downtrend on the daily chart for the past couple of weeks here. 213 highs from August 26th, and then I guess that's earlier last week there. So 2 weeks ago we made that high relatively post earnings, and then now we're pulling back in. But bigger picture, we're still kind of chopping sideways here on Coinbase. So John Del Sengo saying MDB trying to gap fill. Okay, yeah, let's take a quick look at MongoDB here. Again, it was on my on my watch. If I can speak effectively. MDB, right? MDB, MongoDB. Come on, buddy. All right, so yeah, nice little earnings action there. I did have it on watch this morning. Didn't really quite do what I was looking for. What did I have on MDB? Like technical breakout. It's into a gap. So I was like, it did the technical breakout off of the earnings reaction. So if you go up to higher time frame, let's quickly take a look at a 3 hour here. Take a look at this. Gap down off of prior earnings, right? When you go on the daily, you can see this gap a little bit better there. But again, I don't really necessarily like to look at the daily as much as I do the hourly. I do like to kind of incorporate those after hours and pre-market price action candles there as well. Again, always confluencing that with volume. But I was like, we're gapping up above multi-month highs, but we're gapping up into this gap in the middle of this gap. So I was looking for a potential continuation on MongoDB off of the open, going back to the 3 minute. That didn't really come through. We attempted to break through earnings reaction highs here at that 286 in the pre-market, but then you only make lower highs and lower lows for a little bit of a flush. And now we're just trading sideways on MongoDB there today, and VWAP kind of chop happening as well. So that's the look on MongoDB, but nice. I know that people are potentially trading this name on the day as well. Earnings day one, doing some significant relative volume on the day. Take a look at this, man. 12x or Voladera. So that thing is definitely has some participants on that name. So Amazon, good reason to sell. We are pulling back into that 75. I could have been a little bit cleaner getting out in the 30s and the 20s, because I did observe a little bit of the bid drop in there with the market confluencing with the pullback off of that 19.5. So better decision making can definitely be made. What are decisions that you're making? I see that you're not in any position, so you want to talk about those that position you were just in earlier?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now, so I'm just watching the book on Ulta, because Ulta 350 was one of the levels I had written down, because that was a level I found really interesting in the book. And you can even see in the 5 minute, look how we wick into that. We reject it. Then we come back, and then we actually bounce off at a support. I actually really like the idea of going short Ulta if it breaks 350. Now, the reason I haven't gotten involved yet is because I want to wait for that 350 break. I am worried we could bounce here. I'd be risking just above that 350 once here. So I'm going to be watching the book on Ulta, but wow, I'm going to pull up Ulta here. I know I usually have Tesla as like the book I'm always looking at, but I switched it to Ulta here because I want to be able to watch that as I give my analysis here on Crowd. Okay, not CRW, Adara. It's not Crow. It is Crowd. So Crowd here, Crowd. So Crowdstrike, basically what happens here, the reason I got out, I showed it to Miguel Lopez. I think it was Miguel Lopez in the chat. Yeah, Miguel Lopez saying 277 is a good exit. 277, oh, I don't know what happened to some of my chart here, was a level that made sense. I ended up getting out here just below 277. I didn't like what I was seeing in the book. There's a bit of violence with that pushed down in the NQ, so I said, Adara, maybe the move is to get out here. Got out there, so ended up taking just over $2 in CRWD. Took $1.50 on the first exit. So happy. I've only had 2 trades today. Really happy with both of them. Another stock I'm looking at here as I wait for Ulta, another Buffett-related stock is going to be BRKB, the Buffett-related stock. Happy birthday, Warren. Hope you're doing well. Maybe we should drink some Coca-Cola and go to Bank of America in his honor. Look at these lower highs here. Hog Rider was talking about this range. You guys saw me gasp when I noticed this range here on Bank of America. This bottom at 470 and 40 cents is like crazy. The reason I haven't gotten involved yet is A, the volume a little bit more minuscule, whatever, however you're going to say it. And also, I wanted to wait for an appropriate exit. Bill, I want to address your question here. So you don't want to wait for a break and retest at 350? According to your argument, you're taking sells at resistance. I'm taking sells, yeah. Like that's why I said I was waiting for 350. Because I'm okay selling, like, if it breaks that resistance, then I'm okay with that look. But that's why I haven't gotten involved yet either, because this book still exposed to me. That's what I basically what I kind of meant by that was we're just waiting to see what it does at 350. Right now, 350, we're getting, like initially when I first started looking at this, I think we were 350.86 on the ask, 350.15s on the bid. Clearly we've tightened up here a little bit to the upside, so that's why I haven't gotten involved yet. So I just wanted to address your question there, Bill. I have no problem selling if we break below resistance. That, you know what I mean? Things can switch up and people have to have their own styles, their own strategies. To me, the book will always be my guide in addition to the chart. If this is the level I like on the book and it happens to come into confluence, I'm okay with that. So that's what I was trying to say there. I hope that makes some sense there, Bill. And yeah, Roger, kind of echoing my thoughts. That's a sick bear flag on Ulta. Exactly. That's why I don't mind getting involved below that 350 because that was one of the levels I'd identified. Shout out to Sports Fanatic for the $1 super chat, first in a live stream. But let us know if you want us to look at anything Sports Fanatic. But also, guys, if there's any tickers you want us to look at that you're feeling like you're a bit of a fanatic about, get into the chat. Let us know, because Sean and Neil, the Seanfidence, the Neilage here, will let you know what they feel about it. Exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker. Thank you there, Tony, for the love of the Crowdstrike trade. Really happy with what I did there. Yeah, I did end up getting out just before that 277s because I didn't like the action in the book. Now we're climbing above it, but you got to trust yourself. You got to figure out what you're going to be, what you're going to stick with on the trade. And honestly, like I think one of the biggest things that show signs of improvement, like Lulu and Crowdstrike are both profitable trades for me. But with both of them, I'm not like happy to rest on my laurels. I want to be continuing to improve. I want to be like, how could I have done those better? Nice. And I think with Crowd, there could have been clear exit rules for sure. I think with, there could have been more adding arguably on both of those trades, but that's what reflection's for. That's what the whole point of progress and reflecting is. Ulta, if you break 350, RIP. I am, like I said, really hesitant to get involved in this one because I haven't been watching the book as much as I would have necessarily liked to. And every time I think this is starting to push down on the bid, we get a little bit of a bid back up. So I'm waiting here. I'm not trying to rush into this trade. Getting a little bit of a push back up there on the cues. Let's see if we reclaim 351 here. And honestly, if we reclaim 351, we bounce off 352s. That was the same logic I had for Lulu. Watching it push into a key area of support, then bounce back, and then going involved. So that's going to be my take there. That will be my look. Let us know. Vote for those stickers. Shout out to Paco OR in the chat saying Adara sings and wins. Definitely not always winning. Like I said, I went back in the sim because it's not even about P&L. It was just that the process was gross. It was gross-S. It was not process. It was gross-S. So I went back in the sim. Happy to hear there was no gross-S-ness. Not a lot of grotesqueness happening here. Okay, happy I waited here in Ulta. Ulta, you want to bounce off 352s? I'll take you the same way I took Lulu. That sounded really aggressive. I didn't like the way I worded that. Lulu, though, speaking of that, thank you to Hey Davis. Hey Davis. for the $2 super chat saying Lulu's predictable pattern on the 5-minute chart. You are right there. Like, we'll come into previous levels here, higher highs, higher lows, but that 262.50 to 263 area is still pretty interesting as someone who, that was an area I was certainly targeting while I was in the trade. And when, like, you know, the book, it was interesting on the book, it was interesting on the chart. So 263, interesting level for Lulu. Tesla, what are you doing here? Tesla getting a beautiful push up here with volume. Is there a catalyst? I will be looking in here now for that T. Actually, I guess, sorry, not much volume here. It looks like more volume as I was pulling up the chart, but Tesla trying to push into 211s. Yesterday, 210.70s was a level on Tesla for the record. 210.70s, as you can see here, a bit of resistance and support. But again, I want to shout out Obi for being here. Thank you so much for being here today. I know we have another half an hour left, but you know, Sean was saying as well here, like, shout out to you. I think he said Obi is great, by the way, in the chat. So Obi is great, by the way. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for being here. Sports Fanatic, explain what your question. I'm a little bit confused by the question here. Thank you for the $2 super chat saying, any chance give actual entry price and put or call? So we have the entry prices on our positions here in, like, you can see them on the position board. I'm not in any positions right now. I know you aren't either. I think we're both out of positions, but yeah, like, you'll see them on the board. We'll talk about what we're looking at. Ulta, I'm looking at a 352 entry should it hold as a long, and then I'd be risking into 350 80s because that was I guess 350, yeah, 350 50s here, the area that was interesting to me on the book. You got to trust yourself is one of the things I'm learning. Both the crowd and the Lulu trade just came from having belief in those entries, belief in those ideas, levels I liked, waiting for them to hit, patience, but as Bears versus Bulls sometimes spells it, PAY. TIENCE. Yeah, funny comment there, Bill in the chat. Everyone has different energy levels, but you gotta make it work there. And I think sometimes it balances off each other when you approach the markets a little bit differently. Different tickers being traded, right? I have no issues with different energy levels.
Yes, Bill.
I think we're making it work. And also, you got to keep looking bullish like that. Keep staring at me all bullish. I might have to get involved because you're looking pretty beautiful to me, Ulta. It's only good to be getting ugly if she breaks lower.
Beauty, I get that. Nice fun. Nice.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm kind of reading the chat here. Yeah, no, I was laughing at the Bill comment as well. That's actually funny. Yeah, no, sometimes, what was that just now? We just got an aggressive little bit of a bid on both NVIDIA and yeah, so Tesla is breaking out as well. So, sorry, let me just pull that back in. Tesla is breaking out quite aggressively. Double top was at 210.73s there. Amazon, will you break out as well? Let's take a quick look at that one. I do want to get involved on this, and I did see the market catch a little bit of a bid on both the NVIDIA and the Amazon tapes, so maybe we are poised to push up towards that day high. Tesla already leading the way there. Amazon really close to that as well. Apple, will you turn? Apple still near its day lows. NVIDIA near its day lows there. Alphabet still going sideways there. And Softy, a little bit of a downtrend underneath VWAP there. So that selling from yesterday still coming in as of right now. 175.42s. Oh boy, a little bit of an early out there potentially, but again, didn't get back in. That's the issue that I am kind of reflecting on as of right now. So we were like, all right, well, break that 17, break back below that 17. I want to get out, but when it reclaims the quarter, maybe you want to look for that push back in. As again, it could just be a chop. Again, you can see every time that it did revisit the extremes of this range, it was not clean. There was only one time that it was pretty clean, and that's this half-an-hour bid that I did attempt to revert, but that wasn't clean either for the reversion back to VWAP. But technically, we are making higher lows, building up into a flat top breakout as of right now. So shout out to Sharif, because I know he likes his flat tops breakouts and breakdowns, and Amazon, a little bit of a double top here, and Tesla already doing that flat top breakout and holding some of that action as well. So Amazon only about 20 pennies roughly underneath the day highs, day high being at 175.68. We're trading at 175.49 now. So let us see if that can come into fruition. Are we going to hold the range on the day? Are we going to sell back off into VWAP? Or is that aggressive kind of bidding that I just observed on the tape, is that a sign for us to continue pushing up higher? The futures looking a little weak on this 15-minute candle as of right now, as that red, again, prior, what is this, 12 o'clock 15-minute candle, wicks the 19.5. Second 15-minute candle, a little bit red, chopping sideways. third 15-minute candle after that 19.5 test, we still have 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes to test. And we're looking a little bit green here as Amazon pushes that 175 half. Let's see what it does here on the day. 175 half, 175 60s. Are we going to do a little bit more of a wiki action and revert back to VWAP? I have no idea, but I'm observing, I'm looking, I'm waiting, I'm watching. I'm waiting for these trades to kind of fall into my lap potentially for me to take them. Otherwise, I don't really want to concern myself, especially on a day like today. We're getting today's MSCI. There are definitely some potential rebalances happening. And again, this week has been pretty hot in terms of volatility and price action, and some of these chips moving around as well. Past couple of weeks, really, after August 5th, I think things have been a little bit spicy, and not that they weren't really before, but they got a little more spicy, I would say, after that price action came into world markets as well. So that's really what I'm looking at here. As Amazon pushes in only about 10 pennies away, I do want to see what it does with that day high at 175.68 right now, just shy of 10 pennies underneath, or just above 10 pennies underneath that day high level as of right now. NVIDIA, can you break that high as well? NASDAQ, can you break that 19.5? What do I want to see happen for me to make the next decision? I think that 19.5 is going to be definitely a little telling as well. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I'm just looking at this book here on Ulta because, like I said, I think that I initially said 352. 352, I think, is a more obvious level. But on the book, and if you look at it closely enough here, the chart, there's definitely some support, resistance, flippity-floppities here. Obi is having a lot of fun here with Trenda. Oh, she sits so nicely. Gosh, she's very nicely positioned there. We're talking about positions here in trading. And like, little Trenda's like, hey, look at my seat here. I'm hanging out with the big boys.
Trenda's on the ball. On the ball.
You're on the ball with the puns there. Shout out to Obi there. Someone was saying the two Punishers together. Yeah, I guess we're both a little bit more known for the wordplay. So shout out to that. Also, guys, if there's any tickers you're looking at, you only have 13 minutes left to vote. So lucky 13 exclamation point join. Space, $, that ticker, let's go. Ulta, yeah, basically to kind of finish because I was just watching Trenda here. I like Ulta here at that 351.50s in either direction. So if we reject it again, be tempted to go short, but I do kind of notice here, like I said, I initially viewed this as a bear flag, but we did have some kind of bidding up here, the 351.50s. We don't want to break 350s. I'm going to be aware of that. There's another spready earnings day one ticker that I'm looking at again. It's going to be Lulu. Some people in the chat, like, rightfully saying higher highs, higher lows. So then you might be like, Adara, why are you looking at Lulu as a short? And I'll tell you, because that 256, look at this 256. We get to it, we reject it violently. We come back to it, we bid up violently. We sell off violently, and then we stop at 256. But we cannot get back above 258. We can't even get to 258, mind you. 258 was a huge level earlier. Look at how long we held that level, both on the way down and on the way back up. As someone who was sitting here in this 258, let me tell you, that 258 fight was painful to watch. It was painful to be a part of. It required so much patience. I wasn't just packing Lululemon leggings. I was packing some patience in that bag as well. So the fact we can't get back above 258, to me, a skosh bearish, but the bidding up, a skosh bullish. So I'm not getting involved. I know I haven't been in many trades this afternoon, but I think like one of my bigger issues has been I've been on all the tickers in the past. Right now, I'm really just trying to focus and hone in on strategies that I like. My best trades have been on these spreadier tickers. Like we had, again, Crowdstrike, 2 days now. We had Lulu. Today we had my Netflix sim trade there on Tuesday, and I'm only recounting those just because I think it's important to remember what you do well. I think I do well in these kind of larger moves with pretty tight risk to reward on a spreadier name. So if that's what I'm going to be doing, I have to stick with these. It's a little bit harder when I know earnings season is going to be coming to an end soon, and all of my spready friends are going to have less catalysts. But I'm happy to ride these waves for now, that is for sure. SMCI, speaking of spready tickers, I've avoided this one intentionally because I feel like I kind of trade it just to trade it, and that's not a vibe. But there are two levels I like on SMCI, and one of them is 438. The other one is 442. I watched that 442 area here on the book when we had that beautiful bottoming tail candle that didn't really amount to much this morning, and I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. This 438, though, was kind of interesting. We did reject just shy of there. I'm not going to have this up. If I see it hit 438, I might be curious, but I'm going to be checking only intermittently. I don't want to be taking trades just to take trades. Lulu coming into 256. Ulta hanging out. Yeah, sorry, Ulta, you're not doing that much. BRKB though, shout out to Warren there on his birthday. Hopefully he's enjoying. I wonder what his favorite flavor of Coca-Cola is. Do you have a favorite flavor of Coca-Cola?
I think I'm a fan of Dr. Pepper. So if there was a Coke
cool.
that I like, it would be cherry Coke.
I love cherry Coke.
Yeah. Cherry
There
Coke
used to be an orange vanilla Coke at the local bodega by me, but they don't have that
I've
anymore.
tried vanilla Coke.
But that it was orange vanilla. It was so good. Ramin's like not okay with that answer. But orange vanilla Coke was good. So was cherry. But BRKB trying to make a higher low here. So whatever kind of Coca-Cola you are drinking, you might be drinking the BRKB Kool-Aid. No, I'm joking. But nice flat bottom here, higher lows. I like this look. I did love this range, but I wasn't able to kind of play it appropriately. And to be clear, no regrets. Happy with the trades I took. And the thing is, you have to really realize you're not going to be able to take advantage of every opportunity in this market. There's so darn many opportunities. You just got to take advantage of the ones that work for you, that set up the best, right? I think that's what matters. So BRKB, higher low, interesting look. Ulta right now at 351.51s on the ask. So if we get there on the bid, I know this looks bear flaggish and I initially was looking short, but sometimes you got to flip the style up. And if they hate, let them hate. Watch the money pile up. So not to say it's always piling up, mind you, but okay, we get that push above. We're gonna be risking here we're risking $1, 351.51 is where we're trying to get involved here, and we will be getting out should we get below 350.50s. Q's here in a little bit of a precarious position. We're gonna have to see what we do. To be clear, any trade can maybe go against you, right? You're always gonna be a little bit nervous in a trade, but if you believe in the trade, you gotta stick with it. You have your levels. It should not be about emotion. It should be about the quality of the trades. Again, that is why I hid my my blotter, because I do not want to be trading based on P&L, right? Or emotion or anything other than levels I like and action I like. So with that in mind, I'm comfortable going long Ulta right now. Also, Kyle Burdett saying, I like my Coke the old-fashioned way. Shout out to Big Smile. That made me laugh there. Making Obi laugh here as well. We're both in the green today, which is kind of cool. I guess the market's also a little bit in the green. So green and white, good times there. So yeah, let's see what we do here in Ulta. I'm risking $1, which I think is okay with an Ulta-like stock. If we get above 352.50s, that could be an ad area. I really want to see what we do here. In terms of profit taking, I love 356 as a level on the book, but in the chart, 355 might be a better look. So either way, risking $1, looking to make a minimum 350. That's a risk to reward ratio I can live with. Probably going to be my last trade here of the day. Okay, Ulta pushing down a little bit here. As we have Ulta, if there's any stocks you guys are looking at and obsessing over, or whatever you do here, anything you're charting, get into that chat. Let us know, ! Join, space, $, that ticker. The segment is brought to you by Real Trading. Shout out to Real Trading. Never thought I would be trading, and so happy I am. As I said, this has actually been my 1-year anniversary here on this floor and as a part of this show in this community. So pleased as punch to be here and every single day and trying to learn. Wow, Ulta getting right to that 350.50 and bouncing back up. You're gonna have to see what you do here, ULTA, but I do not love these topping tail candles on the Qs. I've been trying to use the futures a little bit more. You know, as Obi said, the SPY is my guide. Using the SPY and the NQ is my guide here. We're gonna have to get out of this Ulta. It was fun while it very briefly lasted. Shout out to you, Ulta. Shout out to Warren, and shout out to Real Trading. Make sure you vote for your tickers, guys. Oh, that's why I wouldn't let me out. Okay, I'm gonna get out of this trade. How are you doing?
No worries. Yeah, so Amazon coming into those, I guess, range highs there. And the NASDAQ pulling back a little bit, doing a bit of a wiki action with only about a minute left on the 15-minute candle to print. So watching it closely. Let's see how it kind of pans out there. Sure, it could blast through the highs, and I will be wrong on the trade, and that's perfectly fine. I will take the next trade. But yeah, no, I like what you said about you were having some trouble. What would you say, like last week or so in the prior weeks, and then you kind of you took a breather, you went on the sim, you kind of put in some reps, and then you came back even stronger, right? You're talking about some of the trades that you've been taking after that reflection, after that kind of after putting in those reps, and that's solid. I definitely vouch for that, and I do that sometimes as well, where I'm like, all right, well, you know, I've been trading too well for a little bit, and that happens. That happens to I guess like. To the best of us, but kind of having the mental to kind of recuperate, getting back into the groove, getting back into the zone definitely helps. And if you do some proper reflection on what you may be doing differently or right or wrong, or maybe something has to do with adaptability in the markets, that can definitely bring some positive side to your trading. And again, you're seeing, I guess you're seeing that live in action, right?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
I definitely agree with that there. So a little bit of, so that 15-minute candle ended a little bit like this, but we pretty much an inside bar there relative to the prior candle. Let's see if we get a little bit of a continuation to the downside here as we start off this 15-minute candle a little bit red as of right now, but only about 14 minutes and 33 seconds left. So we are just freshly starting this 15-minute candle on the futures. We could go either way. Amazon, though, has been kind of doing its own thing, so that is kind of concerning to me. But I am staying as nimble as possible on this ticker as it attempts to push a little bit higher here. 175.68 day high. Let's see what we do with that right now. And we were talking about Coke, and I pulled up Coca-Cola just to see what Coca-Cola is up to. Both Coke and Pepsi, I think some pretty strong names there as well overall. And a little bit of a downtrend, it would seem, over the past few days on these. I think somebody else in the chat was saying Walmart is pushing highs, high days there. Let's take a quick look at Walmart as well. Are these all-time highs? Oh boy. Walmart is pushing all-time highs? Okay, so Walmart is pushing all-time highs right now, 76.90. So a little bit off the radar on that one. Oh boy. All right, so yeah, nice little grind, slow grind up there. Was doing relative volume in the pre-market, so that might have pointed you in the direction of Walmart there, breaking out of these prior highs, 76.50s, holding VWAP as well on these pullbacks right away. See, I don't even need to put the VWAP on. That price action is very telling. We have been holding VWAP relatively well, and then now pushing up even higher as of right now, 76.90s printing on Walmart. So shout out to whoever mentioned that in the chat a little bit earlier there. It seems like some of these retail names are pushing. So let's take a quick look at Target as well. Okay, Target looking distinctly different. Nice little trend to the downside below VWAP on Target. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I got out of Ulta here, like I said, 350.50. I want to address Bill here in the chat. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was okay risking what I risked in that trade. I did risk a dollar there per share, and I was willing to make, I was trying to make like at least 350 a share, so I totally stand by that. I want to clarify. You know, regardless of the size of the trade, it's about like, does the proportion of risk to reward make sense to you? And to me, honestly, this does. Ribbon Millionaire, I think it was Ribbon Millionaire saying if you could have held the Ulta, it'll probably go up later in the day. That's fair, and I think, you know, maybe it could, but you got to stick with your plan, your rules, your risk to reward, and if you stand by it, you stand by it. Yeah, that Microsoft, wow, Microsoft. There's one level I liked on Microsoft, and it's long gone, which is why I have not really been looking at it all day, because I'm trying to mostly hit things that I like on levels. That level I like on Microsoft is 416. Look at that 416 VWAP hold, okay? Then we violently break below it. We've not been back there since. I like this kind of chip top, and then no longer chip topping around that level. If it's a higher low, I think that's an interesting little look there. But also here, this 413.60, if we come back there, could be fascinating. I say that because look at this, a little bit of an umbrella action here. Push up, violent shoot back down. Then we kind of push up higher here to 1440s, come back down here to this 413.60s, wick, and that's all she wrote. So there we go. Let's see what happens here. Yes, we don't show position sizes, just how it goes there. But yeah, what else are we? I will say, yeah, the Ulta position, smaller than the positions I had in Crowd or Lulu. Lulu was one of my largest positions for like that kind of ticker that I've ever taken. I took more shares with Lulu than I did with Crowd yesterday. Nice. So thank you. You got to like build up. And I think also what I've realized too is you should be adding in and having share size in trades that reflect your level of confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think because I was confident, whatever, I had conviction. Shout out to Conviction, which is actually a real Law & Order spinoff. It was very boring, but it did last one season. So shout out to Conviction. Yeah, it literally was just lawyers in their office. I did watch it, but shout out as well to Having Conviction, right?
Did that come out before or after Suits? Sorry.
Oh, it was before Suits. It was way before Suits.
Okay.
And then I guess they really liked the cast because they recast two of the actresses as roles in other Law & Order shows, like lead roles. Not going to go down the Law & Order rabbit hole because I could. But the point is, if you believe in your trade, if you have that faith, if you have that chung kind of level of conviction and action, you got to go for that trade. That was my take there. That's what, kind of what what I believe in there. So that's my look on that. And I think that's one of the things I realized. If you're adding in, whatever size you have should reflect your level of conviction, your level of confidence, whatever phrase you have. Lulu really holding that 256 here. Shout out to Kenny saying, do not short at support, LOL. I totally agree with that. But sometimes if you see stuff you like in the book, maybe sometimes that's got to be a thing that you've got to do. What else is going on here in this? Thank you to Alice Smith saying congrats. I've learned a lot watching your progress. I don't know about that. I'm learning a little bit every day. I learn a lot from Obi, from Sean, from Neil, from Sharif, Brendan, everybody here, and all the guys in the back. So very grateful. And I always sound like I'm giving an Oscar speech, but I'm always just really happy to be here. That's the truth. Ulta looks like it's creeping up, but you know what? I'm not going to have any FOMO here. If there is a reason to get back in, I might get back in because one thing I've really noticed, I know you and Neil have talked about, is if you believe in the trade, sometimes you have to get back in that second time, and sometimes you even learn more from getting back the second time. So that's what we have here. Took 3 trades today. Ulta, Lulu, Crowd, profitable on 2, lost on the 1, but the loss on the 1 very infinitesimally lower compared to the gains on the other 2. How are you doing?
Solid trading there, Dara.
Thank you.
Nice stuff. Amazon is pushing its highs there. So 68 did break. We're printing 175.75s as of right now. And yeah, the market catching a little bit of a bid as well. Still kind of chopping underneath this 19.5, but we still have 8 minutes and 50 seconds. There's 60 seconds in a second, in a minute, not 100. So as soon as I see the 50, sometimes you read price on books so often. When I look at the time, I read it as like a dollar value. Sometimes I don't know if that ever happens to anyone, but that happens to me a lot, That happens to me a lot. And I look at the time, I'm like, oh, like right now it's 1:51. So I'll look at it and be like, oh, it's $1.51 right now. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not how you read time. Softy pulling back in as well, pushing into those 412s. So again, we talk about that level kind of showing up yesterday, right? Aggressive bid coming up off of that 411s and change. Aggressive selling, where does it stop? Where does it do a little bit of a flush and bid back up off of into the end of the day, even through imbalances? In that 412 area. So we get that little bit of a bounce off of that same area here, but look at that. We're coming right back in. So a little bit of some selling pressure here on Softy. Now, something I do want to note, bigger picture, Softy has been making lower lows and lower highs off of some of these levels back-to-back days, right? So we did get that strong action yesterday, and I was like, oh, where are you running? Why are you running? And I did attempt a potential reversion back through that 420. Shout out to the 420 block boys that were there definitely yesterday, showing up, and then a little bit of a confluence for the sell back in. But unfortunately, I did not hold this trade to fruition. But that is definitely something I will be studying this weekend as one of the top opportunities on the week for me, for my type of trading. As again, I do like reversions, and that was definitely textbook playbook in my opinion, and I did not necessarily perform as well as I was looking forward to. But you know what? We do that assessment, we reflect, we readapt, we react, and I don't know the whole line, but you get the gist of it. That's how I guess you work on, or I work on, getting a little bit better every day. So a little bit of a chop and churn happening here at that 19, just above that 19.4, below that 19.5 on the Nasdaq. So we're just getting some choppy action here as Amazon continues to do a little bit of a bid action to the upside here on the day. Let us know. We don't have too much time left on the midday show. I'm really flew. And Amazon is also fluing here to the upside.
Did it catch the flu?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. But let's see if we get to 176s, or we just make a little bit of a higher high and then pull back in for the trend range here on Amazon. But we could just start ripping to the upside, and I would have to give that a little bit of respect here, as the chart is obviously telling me that we are breaking out of a double top. Market doing chopping sideways there. Kyle Burdett with the super chat, 60 seconds in a minute, but if you enter 100 on a microwave, it starts counting down from 59 instead of 69. It's all fugazi. Why can I not hear it for 100 seconds? That is true. I don't know. It's the microwave paradox, right? So you can type in 60, you can type in 100, you still get a minute on that. You are definitely not wrong on that, Kyle Burnett. Yeah, that is a good point. What do you got going on?
Just looking at Ulta, we are having a little bit of a bid up here in Ulta. Like we were at 351, 18s in the bid. Now we're creeping up to 19s. To be clear, would I be like interested in getting back in potentially? Yeah, but I don't want to. I had the right call on this clearly. I didn't want to revenge trade this. Now we're pushing back higher here. You know what? No, I'm going to try this again because I learned that from that conversation you and you've had there with oh, my brain was off. With you and Neil, we're talking about this with regards to if you have an idea, if it sets up, didn't work the first time, try again. We're going to try again. We're going to risk the same amount. You know what? We're going to risk it at 351s because we're holding 351s decently. Willing to risk about 50 cents here. Like I said, we'll see if we can make even like a dollar here at this 352. 50s. Okay, you know what? Maybe I should cancel this bid because I feel like I might be tired trading right now. But also, yeah, okay, we're going to cancel this because I like this look, but I can learn more maybe from watching the move. So that's what I'm going to do there. Yeah, Obi, thank you so much again for being here. I feel like this time did fly. Time flies, Amazon flews. Also, there's a thing I wanted to show. Yeah, shout out to Ramin and Fabian for making this little graphic for me here. It is a pun, and it's tired trading. Look, it's a tire trading.
Oh, that's nice.
It's amazing. Thank you, Ramin, for making that. I might tweet that out if you don't mind there. Because I feel like she said we made it for you. And I mean, you guys know I talk about tire trading. Happy I canceled that bid because I can feel the exhaustion hitting. And we are also getting a bit of a move down here on the ask. So we went from 351 94s, now we're 51.92s. Yeah, I think this thing's going to flush. It might not, but either way, I didn't have enough confidence, and it would have been a revenge trade for me to get in where I did, and I can stand by that. Not by the revenge trading, by the not revenge trading, to be clear. We don't stand by revenge trades over in these parts. There's a quote I loved here from Hey Davis in the chat, though. To make progress in trading, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yes. I agree. Like this Ulta trade didn't work out, but I do stand by, why I got in, what my levels on it were, the risk to reward that I had on it. Same with Crowd and Lulu. Like these are trades that if you look at these on the chart, they might be like a little bit like, what is that? But if you see stuff you like, if you have confidence, if you have the belief in the trade, again, no one's going to believe in a trade for you. And if you don't believe in the trade, why are you doing it? That's what I realized. The trades that work the best, crazy as it might sound, are ones that have levels that you believe in, that you spent time on, that you've been charting. Good times there. Shout out to Ryan saying keep Obi in the show because I haven't seen Adara yawning today. Guys, yeah, to be clear, the yawning, I know some people were like, oh, maybe Adara will yawn yet less now that she's not in the market recap. Unfortunately, my baseline level of energy is exhaustion. We do what we can here, though. But yeah, I do appreciate, all of the support in the chat. So happy to be here every single day. I always sound like a good Oscar speech, but I'm just always very grateful for this here community. Ulta looks like it's bidding up, but I'm happy I canceled my order. It was not have been the move for me to be in that trade. Speaking of being on the move, do you have any weekend plans for your 3-day weekend, Obi?
Nothing really. Probably just some R&R. Just chilling out, nothing too crazy. Maybe some, I don't know, maybe some fishing. We'll see. Maybe some plans getting concocted later on today. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, same. Maybe some plans later. Maybe some napping. We'll see. Maybe it's Ulta. Maybe it's Maybelline. No, I'm joking. Probably. It's Maybelline. Yeah, figuring out what happens there in my plan. Yeah, guys, the talking fast, I swear, has nothing to do with the exhaustion. They're distinctly different. To borrow Nobiism, and it's just a lot. I just have a lot of energy, and then my brain's like no sleep. So
listen, guys, if you guys are trying to hear and listen to the tape, I'm gonna assure you that it is much faster than Adara talks. So.
Oh, thank you. Right, I'm trying to keep up with the tape here, Obi. I do appreciate that. Look at all that tape. Look how fast that tape is moving. That tape is like 40 times my speed, I would say. You talk about tape speed a lot, so I do appreciate that. Also, there was GME. Says Farm Trader. Yeah, let's talk about this. We have 1 minute left here. I think GME is a great note to end things on, is it not? Let's see what we got here. Bit of a floosh coming down here on, oh my gosh, okay, I said a bit of a floosh on the tape. Just for the time being, high volume. Yeah, what floosh? GME is killing it. I mean, that game does not look like it's stopping. It looks like it's just getting started. Great support at 2270. Anything to say before we round off this show here, Obi? We have 30 seconds left somehow.
No, it's all good. Yeah, thanks for having me. Hopefully you guys had a solid trading morning and midday session as well with us. And don't go anywhere because Sean and Neil are going to be on for the closing show there and going to take it into the close of the month, of the week. Some solid price action. And let's stay in fly. You guys stay fly as well.
You guys, same bad channel Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even 2 o'clock.
This is a Friday.